Yes, indeed, we are back once again, and here tonight we have the 76ers taking on the Miami Heat. The game is indeed in Miami, but we should be in store for a good one. The 83-point man himself, Bam Adebayo, will be matched up with, of course, the returning Joel Embiid, who has looked spry, so this should be a fun, entertaining battle between the two all-star level bigs. And we also got a couple of other things to cover around the league as well. We got some things to talk about. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. Let's go through it. Let's start the show. That's right. We are indeed back again, folks. We're back in the building, ready to go. More NBA basketball to be covered. And I'm looking for that button right there. More NBA basketball to be covered here tonight. Like I said, the 76ers will be taking on the Heat. Boy, we're going to stay away from the Magic for the foreseeable future after that beatdown they took the other night. So we can go through a little bit like that. But David said, what's good, fam? Any Deucey update? I'm with you, David. I've been waiting on the Deuce McBride updates. The only thing we've gotten, David, and I can kind of read it verbatim because I got it up over here because I've been searching too, man. I've been searching for the updates as well. Where are they? Here it is. If we go to Begley, who put out, Knicks are listing Deuce McBride as questionable for tomorrow's game at Houston. That does not mean anything to me. I still think he's incredibly injured. He's being listed out with a pelvic / core muscle surgery. McBride returned on Sunday from a 2-month absence following a core muscle surgery, but appeared to re-injure the area versus OKC. Landry Shamet remains out with the knee injury. So no real update on Deuce other than he will not play tomorrow. He's questionable. He will not play tomorrow. I think this is a pretty legitimate, severe injury. My expectation is that he's done for the season. Honestly, I'm going to be real. My expectation is that he's done for the season, unfortunately. I'm hoping to be wrong, but I'm mentally preparing myself for playing the remainder of the season without Deuce McBride. And if that's the case, I have stated multiple times this season, this team is not deep enough to survive extended stretches without really important role players for them, or even just really important players in general. And I think Deuce McBride is one of the most important players on this team with his point of attack defense, his ability to play pretty much alongside of anybody, and his three-point shooting as well, obviously. So, yeah, man, I'm not in the greatest mood with the Deuce McBride injury news. Nothing really out yet, but my expectation, just from what it looked like on the court, is that it doesn't look good at all. I mean, the guy could barely walk off the court in his own power. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully. But my expectation. So I will not be let down when the notification comes out like, yeah, it's bad re-injury. So. Oda Austin, what's up, Oda? The dog catcher, what's up, dog catcher? Deucey Doo, has Deuce CB, best wishes for optimal outcomes. Yeah, I'm hoping for it. Justice Dad, of course, in the chat as well as always. Appreciate you, Justice Dad. Yeah, it's a rough situation. He literally just came back. We were all excited. The Deuce McBride return game, and a couple minutes into it, he goes down, can barely walk off the court in his own power, and it looks like his season might be done. It is a possibility that we've seen Deuce McBride play his last game with the New York Knicks this season. David said, if Deuce is out, bring Dink up, please. He can help. Or we got to play so on. Dink is not coming up, David. The reports have been out that he has declined multiple two-way offers from NBA teams. He does not want to come to the NBA right now. As a matter of fact, he's put the feelers out to a couple of colleges that he'd love to go play in college next season, so he's going to take a step back. I don't know. I don't understand these guys in the G League or playing overseas deciding to come back and take a step back in competition and go play in college? Like, if that was something that was a viable path for you, you should have done that out of high school instead of going to the G League right out of high school for Dink Pate. I think it's an absolute terrible decision for him. We'll see if it works out for him. He's still 20 years old, so he's not super old, unlike James Najee. We saw do that earlier in the season. So Dink Pate, he's not coming up. Not coming up. I'm sure the Knicks offered him a contract, and it's been reported that he's gotten multiple offers for two-way contracts in the NBA, and he's turned them all down. So, and college coaches are actively attending Westchester, or were, because now the season's over for the Westchester Knicks, were actively attending Westchester Knicks games to scout Dink Pate to see if they would offer him money, because now with the NIL stuff, offer him money to come play in college. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think it is not a smart move for Dink Pate. Just get yourself an opportunity in the NBA and show what you're capable of. But who knows? Who knows how he's being advised? Who knows how he's personally feeling? Who knows where he feels in his own development path? I don't know, but I think it's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. After he tore it up in the G League this year. Tore it up to the point where people wanted to legitimately pay him money to come play for their NBA team, and he turned them down, which makes no sense to me. To then accept money to go play in college? Like, all right, man. Good luck. Good luck. Eric C. What's up, Eric? How's your Monday going, good sir? It's going all right, Eric. It's going all right. Not too happy with the Deuce McBride stuff going on after last night. You know, it's all kind of settling in where it's like, man, we may have seen Deuce McBride play his last game this season. It's definitely a possibility. It's on the table. It is on the table. As far as David also said, or we got to play Sohan. As far as Sohan goes, I mean, the Sohan thing, like, he's not helping the Knicks in anything that Deuce McBride was bringing. So I don't understand if Deuce is out, play Sohan. If Deuce is out, you got to hope Alvarado plays better. And he did play better in that OKC game. You got to hope that Tyler Kolek is ready to go. You got to hope that Clarkson can really come through for you come playoff time. But, yeah. Sohan's not fixing anything that you're losing from Deuce McBride being out. Sohan, heavy last 6 games. See what we got. I think they know what they have, and that's why they're not playing him. They know what Sohan is. He's got no perimeter game. Doesn't really have much of an offensive game at all. Not good at any aspect of offensive basketball. He's an okay finisher at the rim, but at 6'8", with his athleticism, you should be an okay finisher at the rim. So. They know what they have, and that's why they haven't played him, because they know what they have, and it's not very good. There's a reason why he was just waived from a team, and why the Spurs couldn't figure out a trade for him, because he's got no value, because teams don't. They look at Jeremy Sohan and they're like, what can he do? He's an okay to good defender, and he's got no offense, right? Now, there's certain situations and situational positions where he could be useful, sure, but not consistently. That's why. Sohan gives us length and can handle the ball. He can't really handle the ball. There's a reason why when the Spurs were tanking, they made him the tank commander and put the ball in his hands. Because he can't handle the ball. Suns Jen, what's up, Suns Jen? Hope everyone's in good health today. It is a Monday. It is the start of the week. Hopefully we started our week off right. And we got an NBA basketball game. Let's get to it. Eric Lyerly as well. Appreciate you, Eric. Appreciate you. Let's get to our coverage here tonight. We're going to start with the best player on the opposite team. And yes, of course, that is Tyrese Maxey. For all the Joel Embiid truthers out there, Tyrese Maxey is the cornerstone franchise guy on this team now. And boy, oh boy, Philly really caught a break with the development of Maxey and looking into the Edgecombe pick here, because now they have a natural transition from the Embiid era now to the Maxey and Edgecombe era here. But Maxey, best player on the team, 29 points per game, 4.2 boards, 6.7 assists. Just slightly down, points slightly down. Field goal percentage, efficiency across the board, slightly, utmost slightly down. Although I will say it was over 40% from three-point range earlier in the year and has now dipped down to 37% from three-point range. So not the greatest in the world. Ram Jam, what's up, Ram Jam? David said, guys, I'll put my hopes on JC. I kind of think we got to at this point, David. We're going to obviously lean more heavy into our guards if there's no Deuce McBride, but hopefully they can provide something, right? Hopefully. Thegnon Gambles, what's up, Thegnon? Eric Z said Embiid is washed. Well, we'll talk about Embiid next, but Maxey, he's made another leap this year. I think he's a true blue best player on the team. I think there's no doubt about it in my mind that he is the best player on this team. And then when you factor in all the health stuff, obviously with Embiid being out, Paul George being out. Paul George not really with the injury, but, with the suspension, he's now back. They look really good with the three of them out there. They look dangerous going into the playoffs. They will be a tough out, as they tend to be, if Embiid is able to play. But we always know that it's not going to be reliable for Philadelphia to have a healthy playoff run, so we'll see kind of how they match up at that point. But let's get to Tyrese Maxey, who I think has been incredible this season. Like I said, slightly down across the board with his efficiency. Other than that, he's been pretty spectacular for the most part. My favorite stat to always go over, especially with these high-volume players and especially guards, is this number right here, 2.5 turnovers per game. So all the people talking about, oh, my guy, yeah, he averages a lot of turnovers because the ball in his hands a lot. Well, you could also not turn the ball over and just make better decisions, right? So I really love Tyrese Maxey's game. I think he's having a phenomenal season. And part of the dip in the efficiency for him was the time he kind of had to carry the team with no Embiid, no Paul George, and a couple of other instances where Tyrese Maxey being carted off from warm-ups. Sources say torn Achilles. All right, brother. If I look this up, and there's nothing like that, I'm going to get you up out of here, big dog. Oops. My guy's in here trolling. We'll just get you out of here. Philly said, add Adam Schefter. All right, brother. Trapped in the 90s. What's up, Trapped in the 90s? Colossal the Don, what's up, Colossal? Blowout incoming? I mean, it could. With the way Philly played previously, it very well could. Tyrese Maxey also pretty good at playing the passing lane, 2 steals per game. His speed is a killer. Let's move on to Joel Embiid. Mr. May he play, may he not play, who knows? He will indeed be playing today. He's coming back off the oblique injury, which is not really a normal basketball injury you see players suffer with, although we had 2 strange instances of it last year with the Orlando Magic between Banchero and Wagner. But Joel Embiid, he's back. It wasn't that big of an injury. He did have to take some time off in order to fully recover. But so far on the season, 27 a game. He's kind of back into rare form with the scoring. He looked really spry and really athletic the other night against the Charlotte Hornets. He looked really good. And now going into a game against the Miami Heat here today, like I previewed earlier when we started, a matchup of the 83-point man versus the Joel Embiid former MVP. It's going to be a fun one. We'll see. Trav in the 90s said, what's up with Deuce? We don't fully know yet, Trav in the 90s. I'm mentally prepared for Deuce McBride's season to be over, though. It did not look good. Oda Austin, what's up, Oda? One of the worst decisions of my life is Coach Brown got... one of the worst decisions of my life is Mike Brown got out, took out of the game, took out of the game, I think you mean? Yeah, that wasn't a good moment. That wasn't a good coaching moment for sure. We can absolutely criticize Mike Brown for a pretty poor coaching performance against the Thunder the other night. I'm with you on that one. Eric C. said, Maxed and IQ remind me of one another. Maxed better, but same skill set. Similar skill set. I think Maxey's quickness separates him from Quickly, funnily enough. I think it separates him from Quickly a pretty decent amount, and also I think he's just a much better ball handler, a much better finisher, and a much better natural point guard than Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly's still really good. I love Quick, but yeah. Joel Embiid, 27 a game, 7.5 rebounds. The thing that is, he's kind of transitioned his game to being more of a bruising interior inside out kind of offensive big to being more of an outside in kind of big, threatening with that mid-range high post face-up jump shot, consistently able to shoot it over anybody at 7 feet tall with a long wingspan, all the things. That's where he gets many of his points. But 7.5 rebounds is obviously the biggest concern for Joel Embiid, because if he's not going to be a good enough rebounder, that starting line's really going to struggle, because they don't really have rebounders outside of Embiid, which is part of the reason why they have leaned into lineups that also incorporate guys like Dominick Barlow, who can try to help out on the boards, a more natural 4. And just a bigger, more athletic, energy kind of player. And I think at this point in his career, you kind of need to pair him with a power forward who's a pretty good rebounder, who doesn't obviously get in too much of the way of Joel Embiid trying to do what he wants to do. Embiid has been playing really good, and like I said, he looked really spry. looked really spry the other night against Charlotte. So I'm interested to see what he looks like tonight. Was that because he had the nice time off recovering from an injury and so he was more fresh? On his second game back, is he going to be more sore? Is he going to be slower? I'm interested to see how he moves here tonight. CEO King, what's up, CEO King? We get to Paul George. Paul George has had an interesting season. I think he's done a really good job of fully transitioning into a role player on this team, although I will say his first game back was against Charlotte as well, and I thought he looked really good. He looked like old school Paul George, off the dribble, making shots, knocking down perimeter shots, getting all the way to the rim and finishing. So far in the season, 17 points per game, 5.4 boards, almost 4 assists. We'll round up for him. 1.5 turnovers a game is not bad at all. He's up to 38.5% from three-point range, 43% from the field. Obviously, you could tell he struggled with his efficiency this year, taking a step back as a player, just trying to be a bit player, trying to fit in where he can get in, focusing more on his perimeter defense and fitting in and being a catch-and-shoot guy and attacking closeouts on the offensive end, allowing Maxey and Embiid to be the primary guys while also incorporating a lot more Edgecombe. And then Paul George will fit, like I said, fit in where he can get in, attack where he can attack, have the ball in his hands when it's time for him to have the ball in his hands, but he's not really forcing anything and not kind of demanding the ball and feeling like, well, I'm a star, give me the ball, let me cook. Because at this point, at 35 years old, it feels like he's past his, not feels like, he's definitely past his athletic prime for sure. And you could tell the quickness is also starting to leave him a little bit. Obviously, still supremely talented and skilled, but that's only so far. That's only going to take you so far in the NBA. So him transitioning to that, unfortunately, he gets paid like a superstar. He got a max free agency contract or a max offseason contract during his free agency with the 76ers. So I think people will always look at him like, hey, man, you make a lot of money to just be a bit role player here. But I will say, Paul George accepting that role and thriving in it is a really nice development for the 76ers and will really benefit them. Obviously, the contract will always hold back their flexibility in order to build out this team. But still really good, still really valuable as a basketball player. Colossal said this is his third game back. Thank you, Colossal. His third game back here tonight. David said, I'm getting tired of regular season, want real playoffs to come. We're almost there, David. We are almost there. About 2 weeks left in the regular season here. Less than 10 games remaining here. Less than 10 games remaining. I think the Knicks have, 8 games to go? Trap in the 90s said, podcast and prescription P is crazy. Podcast P. Hasn't he, kind of just stopped the podcast? I can't remember the last time I've seen a clip from his podcast, but yeah, man. He was definitely leaning too far into the podcast at times, but he's setting himself up for post-career, man. You could tell. Let's get to the rookie. We go from one of the oldest players on the team to the youngest player on the team, VJ Edgecombe, 20 years old, the third overall pick. Absolutely fantastic from jump. Right, had hit a historic rookie debut, 35 points. I think it was against the Celtics. 16 points per game on the season, 5.7 boards, 4 assists for VJ Edgecombe. I think he's had an utterly fantastic rookie season that is obviously, unfortunately, being outshined by Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg. But I think VJ Edgecombe, for the most part, was hanging in there with those guys in terms of being in the conversation for possibly being Rookie of the Year. A clear-cut first-team all-rookie for him this season. I think he is all the makings of a possible superstar. We'll see. Obviously, there's still development to be made. We'll see how his development goes as he grows into his career here. But he's got the athleticism, he's got the tenacity, he's got the finishing ability, and the shooting touch. He is shooting 36% from three-point range when this was a huge question mark for him coming into his NBA season. 36% is huge. I was expecting 30 to 32. And hopefully maybe he can sneak into respectability at 35. And honestly, the three-point percentage has kind of dipped down a little bit because Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George were out, and VJ Edgecombe kind of had to assume the number one guy on this team for a while there, which is something he had not had to do all season long. And in doing so, a lot of his efficiency stats dropped, even though he hasn't been the most efficient player this year as a rookie, which most rookies aren't, so I don't hold that against him. But he was shooting closer to 37, 38% this year. It's dropped down to around 36, which to me is fine. But the fact that he's shown a level of a nice touch from the perimeter is exactly what you wanted to see from VJ. Not exactly, but that's what you want to see from VJ Edgecombe coming out of college, because you knew the athleticism was there. You knew the finishing ability was there. He definitely has star to maybe superstar potential in him for sure at only 20 years old. Chirp, what's up, Chirp? If Embiid is the first player to get 2 threes, I get $300. 2 games ago, he cashed for me. Close last game, but no cigar. Embiid, first player to get 2 threes. Let's go, baby. We'll see, Chirp. I'm rooting for you, brother. I'm rooting for you. Jay Hammer, what's up, Jay Hammer? Edgecombe. Shout out Edgecombe. We get to Quentin Grimes. Mr. Once a Nick, always a Nick. Quentin Grimes. He's obviously bounced around the league a little bit, now finding a home a little bit here with Philadelphia. We'll see if he'll stay with Philadelphia. He will be, I believe, a restricted free agent, if I'm not mistaken, a restricted free agent at the end of the season here. Part of the reason why they traded Jaron McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for nothing is because they knew they had Quentin Grimes and they could not find any kind of combination to have Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes, and McCain in their rotation. Makes zero sense to me, but, you know, it was something they decided on to trade a second-year guy in McCain off the team. Either way, and get nothing back in return. Either way, Quentin Grimes has been really, really good for them. 14 a game, 3.7 boards, 3.4 assists. He's a really high-level bench guy right now in his career, and I think that's a really sweet spot for him. The three-point shot has not been as consistent as it once maybe looked to be promised. 33% on the season is not really good at all. He's got the reputation to be a good shooter. So teams will still close out on him pretty heavily. He can get it off the dribble. He can get it off of creation in terms of like step backs or side steps. He can get it off the catch. So teams will still close out on him hard. They won't leave him open from three-point range, but brother, you got to knock down more than 33% of your three-point attempts. 45% from the field is not bad for an off-the-bench guard like him. 84% from the foul line shows he's got a nice tough touch on his jump shot. And the defense is always going to be there for Quentin Grimes. The tenacity and the aggression is going to be there from Quentin Grimes, but ultimately, the thing that has kind of kept him as a bench player, where once looked like maybe he could be a legitimate starting 2-guard in the NBA and be a really impactful player, kind of pulls it back a little bit because Quentin Grimes, the consistency seems to always has consistently eluded him throughout his career. So he's a really nice bench player. You don't necessarily know what you're getting from him on a night-to-night basis, per se. But averaging 14 a game, decent percentages outside of three-point percentage, decent percentages across the board. You know, he's still capable. Zene, what's up, Zene? Grimes taking a lot of cap space on the Sixers, in my opinion. He is, and he probably will, because I don't think they can afford to lose him for nothing come free agency time, considering they traded McCain away for nothing. That would be an absolute disastrous move for the 76ers here, to lose both of their backup guards that have young backup guards, by the way. Quentin Grimes is only 25 years old. McCain is only, 21 years old, I believe? Losing both of those guys for nothing this offseason, if they don't pay Quentin Grimes, it would be disastrous. If they are going to lose him, it's got to be in a sign and trade. They have to recoup some level of assets for him. Trav the 90s said, what's your stance on our potential first-round matchup? It's too hard to tell, Trav the 90s. It's too hard to tell. We really don't know who the Knicks are going to play. It's too bunched up in the middle there. We can go over the standings as the night goes on. Lemon Pound Cake, what's up, Lemon? David Osh Jr. said, Trap, it gotta be a doggy fight every series. Any team can be upset. Oh, in the playoffs? Yeah. Yeah, it is going to, unless the Knicks play the Raptors, which, by the way, the Raptors playing extremely well as of late, just blew the Orlando Magic out by 53. I think that's more has to do with the Magic than the Raptors, but the Raptors have been playing very well as of late. They had a nice win against Detroit. Even when they had Cade Cunningham, had a nice win against Detroit, blew out the Orlando Magic. So they're playing much better as they end their season here. So I don't even know that would be a favorable matchup for the Knicks, even though they've dominated that matchup all season. So, Trap the 90 said, we made Grimes what he is today. Yeah, and then he bounced around the league a little bit, trying to find a home, trying to find opportunity. And here he is on the 76ers off the bench. Zane said, Raptors slaughtered the Magic. 53-point win is crazy. Bruce Fowler, what's up, Bruce? I got a problem. I can't watch a game without the chat now. Basketball without Sheffy is like popcorn with no butter or salt. Blessing to Mama Sheffy. Hope she had a great day. Appreciate you, Bruce. She did have a fun birthday weekend for sure. Everybody came out in the family to celebrate, so it was a fun time. We get to Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre started the year injured, finally came back, and you can see the value of Kelly Oubre immediately upon his return. Just a big, nice-sized wing that they could throw out there and throw on defenders. He's a good enough defender. He's a good enough three-point shooter, 36% for three-point range, respectable. He's a good enough finisher in the paint, 46% from the field, 14.5 points per game off the bench, 4.9 rebounds, 1.7 assists. He's just really solid. He's a jack of all trades, master of none type of player, but he can get red hot from three. He can be very dangerous. Susan, what's up, Susan? Happy to see you as always. He can be really dangerous, and like I said, he's a good enough defender. He's a good enough shooter. He's a good enough finisher. He's just really solid off the bench, and if that three-point shot really starts to get going, he can be liable to go off for 20, 25 points a night. Justin Edwards isn't really a part of the rotation anymore. I will say he stepped up quite a bit in the absence of a lot of the other guys. The percentages skyrocketed for him, 37% from three-point range, 45.5% from the field. So I don't know. Will a team take a chance on him? Will Philly continue to keep Justin Edwards in-house as a possible development path for him to maybe replace Kelly Oubre at some point as Kelly Oubre ages into his 30s now? Who knows? But there's something there with Justin Edwards. They're only 22 years old, out of Kentucky, 6'7" wing who seems like he has a decent jump shot, seems like he's got a decent ball handling abilities. There's still a lot left to grow with Justin Edwards. As of right now, not really a full rotation player, as he won't be a part of the rotation for the 76ers when they're fully healthy. But part of the reason why he's got a player graphic is I expected him to really compete and maybe even earn a rotation spot this year, but hasn't really come to fruition. Really started the year really poorly from the field. We get to Adebayo, who just flat out beat Andre Drummond for the backup center spot. 4.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, some really solid rim protection. He's a good rim runner as well. Ignore the 33% from three-point range. I'm sure he doesn't take threes. So that's why I say ignore the 33%. I'm sure he's, 1 for 3 from three-point range this season. So that's where he's at. He's not going to stretch the floor from three. He's going to set screens. He's going to roll to the rim. He's going to catch lobs. He's going to grab offensive rebounds, get put back. Stuff like that is where Adebayo thrives. And just having a really solid energy rim running big is honestly just good enough. Most times it's just good enough. But if it's not good enough and you're kind of running into an issue where you need a little bit more skill, here comes Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond, 6.4 points, can still grab them rebounds, man. 8.4 rebounds on the season. Like I said, he's kind of lost the backup center minutes to Adebayo when fully healthy. Although when Embiid sits out, Andre Drummond is the one that starts, and they bring Adebayo. They continue to bring Adebayo off the bench. But 34.6% from three-point range. Who told Andre Drummond he could shoot threes? I won't say it as loudly or as crazily as I did earlier in the season because the percentage has dropped down pretty mightily. Earlier in the season, he was shooting 40.5% from three-point range. He's now down to 34.5%. So pretty big drop. But at 32 years old, the athleticism has abandoned Andre Drummond. He's getting up there in age, and centers don't typically age too well. But I'll tell you what, he's still skilled. He can still carve out space under the rim and snag some rebounds. So Andre Drummond's still capable. But like I said, Adebayo fair and square, won out those backup minutes away from Drummond this season. Fear nothing. What's up, Fear? What's cooking? Are you rooting for the Sixers or the Heat? I gotta say, I don't really have a dog in this fight at all. It doesn't really matter. These two teams are so bunched up in the middle there. 76ers sitting at 41-33, Heat sitting at 39-36. Just give me a good game, and we'll see how that comes out. I'm rooting for a good game. Dominick Barlow is the last guy I want to touch on here. 8 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 1.3 assists. 26.5% from three-point range isn't great. He'll still shoot them every now and again just to keep the defense honest. 54% from the field is solid. He's a good finisher in the paint. And he's a good, solid, versatile defender at 6'9", can switch out on the perimeter, does a good enough job of protecting the rim as well, can body up. He's got the strength and the size to body up against other bigs to guard him in the post. He's just kind of a really solid, versatile player. And like I said earlier about the Embiid point, they need an energy guy to play alongside of Embiid because Embiid, as he's getting older and has dealt with all the injuries that he's dealt with, can't really move the way he used to defensively and on the boards as well. So you throw a guy like Dominick Barlow in there to kind of ease up some of the burden on Joel Embiid in those instances. And I think he's really played extremely well for them this year. Also, he was playing so well. He was initially on a two-way contract, and they had to keep him around. They eventually converted his two-way contract over to a full-time contract. I'm looking at you, Dink Payne. I'm like, brother, look at Dominick Barlow. Work your way into the NBA. He didn't decide to go down to college. He's only 22 years old. He also played for Overtime Elite. I just don't understand the path of these guys who had the opportunity to play in the NBA and decide, let me go back to college. It ain't going to work out for you in the long run. James Najee will probably never get another opportunity in the NBA here. Chaos Kid, what's up, Chaos Kid? Start the playoffs already. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Let's get to the playoff. Let's stop with this regular season shenanigans. Let's get to the Miami Heat. Let's cover them as quickly as possible. We have about 5 minutes before we get to tip-off. So let's start with the 83-point man himself first, Bam Adebayo, who in my opinion is by far, not even a question in my mind, but other people may feel different, the best player on this team. But guess what? He scored 83 points in the game. You become the best player on the team. 20 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, 3 assists. Does a little bit of everything for this team. He's the backbone of their defense. They kind of need him in every aspect of what they do. Really important for this Miami Heat. If they want to make the playoffs and make a little bit of a run, make some noise, it's got to be on the back of guys like Bam Adebayo. A two-way player. He's going to have his hands full tonight in the Embiid matchup. Brian Jacobs, what's up, Brian? Who did he score that against? It was the Washington Wizards, I believe, right? Tyler Hero, 21.3 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 3.9 assists. The issues that have become apparent with Tyler Hero is that, he can put the ball in the basket. He's a really good offensive player. Brian Jacobs said, enough said, then we should have seen another 80-point game this season, right? But we haven't. So, yeah, enough said, brother. Where's Pascal Siakam's 80-point game against the Washington Wizards this year? Oh, that's right. He didn't do it. Tyler, he didn't even score 50. Tyler Hero, 21.3 points per game, 4.7 boards, 3.9 assists. He's a solid player. Does a lot, really, really does a lot for this Miami Heat team, especially as an on-ball creator. Under 2 turnovers per game. You guys know I love my low turnover, especially guards, but high usage play. Love my low turnovers there. Under 2 a game is spectacular. Even though 1.9 is essentially 2. 48.5% from the field, 38.5% three-point range. Very efficient as well. 93.7% from the foul line. Just does not miss free throws. It's fantastic. But we know the issues with Tyler Hero. My guy is one of the worst defenders in the NBA. Really bad on that end of the court. He'll give it to you offensively, and usually his offense will outweigh his bad defense, but it just puts so much burden on the other perimeter defenders on his team to come through for them and clean up a lot of his deficiencies. He's got to get to not terrible. He doesn't even have to get average, doesn't even have to get the good. I just need him to be not terrible defensively. And I think he's working his way towards that. Obviously, earlier in his career, he was flat out terrible, but he's working his way towards that. Only 25 years old. Brother, you can't be terrible defensively. If you are going to be terrible defensively, you got to give me more than 21.3 and 4, So I like Tyler Hero, but it seems to me that maybe his best role is as a sixth man, as a super sub, Manu Ginobili-esque sixth man. But obviously, when you put up over 20 a game, you feel like, wait, I'm a starter. So I'm a starter, right? And I believe he's made an all-star team as well, an injury replacement at some point, I think. Either way. Durston said doubleheader tonight, need a Sheffy fix. I thought about the doubleheader. We were scheduled to do the doubleheader, Durston, but ultimately I'm going to pull the second game from the schedule because it was supposed to be the Pistons versus the Thunder. But then when I was going through it and I was setting up, the Pistons are sitting pretty much everybody. No Duren. We know Cunningham's out, but no Duren. Stewart's out. He has an injury. Tobias Harris is out. Duncan Robinson is out. And I'm like, okay, what are we watching? Danis Jenkins and All-Star Thompson and Paul Reed take on the Thunder? I just don't think that's going to be a good game. So I'm axing that from the schedule moving forward. And I think we're only going to do the Knicks game tomorrow. I know we talked about yesterday during the Knicks game about trying to get doubleheaders in this week, which we will, but I don't think tomorrow's the game to do it because the late night game is the Blazers-Clippers, which is probably going to end up being a good game, but we have the Knicks-Rockets at 8 o'clock. It's an 11 o'clock start time, so extremely late. But what I was doing was looking ahead. So the Knicks also play Wednesday. So Thursday, we have a 7 o'clock start time. Timberwolves-Pistons, we'll watch that one. And then the late night game will be Lakers-Thunder, we'll watch that one. So we got a doubleheader on Thursday. We should be good for Thursday. And then we'll see about the rest of the week as well. Ebony said, Pistons are still competitive. You're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder and you're without Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, and Isaiah Stewart. 5 rotation players. 5 extremely important. 5 of your 6 best players on your team. So, I'm good. Pistons have been very good without Cade Cunningham. Very impressive. I'm not watching I'm not watching All-Star Thompson and Danis Jenkins going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not doing that. Thunder on a back-to-back. Good luck, Ebony. Good luck with that Pistons matchup. Maybe it'll be a good game, maybe it won't, but I will not be sticking around to cover it. Bruce said, can't say I see anyone lately on a roll. All the games I've seen lately have been up and down performances by everyone. Chevy, who's on a roll? The Toronto Raptors have been on a bit of a roll. A lot of these teams that are battling in the middle have been on a roll. We'll go through the standings in a minute. We'll point them out, but that's a good point. Typically when you get to this point of the regular season, the teams at the top are prioritizing getting to the playoffs as healthy as possible. Celtics have been playing well lately. They're a team that's on a bit of a roll right now with Jason Tatum showing out as Jaylen Brown has been out the last, 2 games or so. So that is, Celtics have been on a roll. Raptors have been on a roll. As far as the West goes, the Thunder and the Spurs continue to be on rolls as they continue to play well. But a lot of the battles are coming from the teams in the middle here. Let's get to Norman Powell, who's out tonight, unfortunately. No Norman Powell, though. He has been playing spectacular this season. Actually got named to the All-Star team this year, and the wacky way they named All-Stars this year was weird. But indeed, Norman Powell has been playing very well. He's a little redundant with Tyler Hero, since both of them has been on the court together at the same time. It's not looked great, but we know what he's capable of, and just the presence of him on the court along with Tyler Hero makes him dangerous for a playoff run here. Because if he gets hot, it can get dicey for their opponents. Andrew Wiggins has kind of just become one of the most integral players on this team in terms of being a perimeter wing stopper. I call him what do I call him down here? The biggest wild card in the NBA. Feels like Wiggins has been trying to find his game his whole career. Average defender on most nights with an unreliable jump shot. He can be hit or miss. Some nights, he's an average defender. Some nights, he's a bad defender. And then some nights, he's an absolute wing stopper on the perimeter and a lockdown defender. Some nights, he is giving you 25 on really efficient shooting, and he's knocking down threes at a high rate. And then some nights, he's 0 for 4 from 3 and shies away from taking any kind of shots. It is rough sometimes with Andrew Wiggins. But then also at the same time, he looks awesome. So you never really know who you're getting on a night-to-night basis with Andrew Wiggins. But when it's going well, it's going great. But when it's not going well, sometimes you look out there and you're like, we're paying a lot of money for that guy who's going to stand around and give us 8 points tonight, not some great defense? Oof. Oof. We get to Nikola Jovic, who's just had a flat-out really bad, disappointing year for the Miami Heat this year. 7.4 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 2.2 assists. He's still only 22 years old. Still some time for development, but seemingly like he's taking active steps backwards in his development here. 36.7% from the field is horrendous. 27% from three-point range is just flat-out bad. Can't be sub 30. I mean, even 30% is bad. You're sub 30 by a pretty decent amount. 27% from 3. He's not found the range. He's not found any rhythm, not any consistency this year. He's just not been good in almost any aspect for the Miami Heat this year. And at 22 years old, in his 4th season in the NBA, I believe it's his 3rd or 4th season in the NBA, I always talk about that NBA clock ticks significantly faster than a lot of people want to give it credit for, man. You could find yourself out of the league very, very quickly if you don't really start showing signs for development. And obviously, Miami will continue to hold on to him, I think, and give him an opportunity. Braider with the Braider. But Nikola Jovic, he's got to start showing some signs, man. They need some signs. And why is this so far behind? The game's already tipped off. Are we not live? We're not live. Here we go. We're getting ready for tip-off. Beautiful. Beautiful. Good thing I checked it out. Here we go. Let's go to the Gamecast. My goodness. Good thing I checked to see if we were live. We were not. Miami wins the tip. Got to pivot immediately. Miami wins the tip. Hero gets it over to Wiggins. Wiggins gets it over to Bam. We're off and running. Here we go. They get it out to Pell Larson attacking on the rim. Gets the scoop layup. Going right past Paul George to start the game. Corey Skeets with the Corey. Paul George bringing it down. He has it up top. Gets it over to Embiid. Embiid hands it off to Edgecombe. Edgecombe coming to his left at the foul line. Pull-up jumper. Got it to go for Edgecombe. And immediately an answer right back. You love to see that. And Miami pushing it the other way. Bam up top being guarded by Embiid. They get it over to Wiggins. Wiggins attacking to his left. Puts up the floater. Got it to go for Wiggins against Maxey. Oh, that is Davion Mitchell, excuse me. Wiggins swing it over to Mitchell. Knocks down the floater over Maxey. And so far we have a 3-for-3 start to this game. Have yet to see a miss. Embiid up top. Hands it off to Edgecombe. Edgecombe swings through to his right. Pulls it back out. Lobs it over the top to Embiid. Embiid catches. Hesitates. Now puts up the 3 over Bam. Got it to go for Joel Embiid. And both teams remain perfect so far. 2 for 2 for each side. Wiggins down the lane, can't get the floater over Barlow. Barlow then chases down the rebound that got knocked out of the air. Maxey gets it over to George. George coming to his right up the Embiid screen. George on the right wing, pulls it out, kicks it out to Maxey. Maxey has it by the half-court line, gets it over to Embiid. Embiid back to Maxey, coming to his right downhill, kicks it over to Paul George. Right corner three for George. Wide right, wide left, can't get it to go. Barely grazes the rim, gets knocked out of bounds by Philly, and the ball will go back to Miami now. Finally got a miss from both sides. Hero has it up top. Hero, jab step, coming to his left, down the lane, leans in, fall away jumper in the paint, got it to go with a nice little floater. It wasn't really a jump shot, it was more of a floater from Tyler Hero there. Here comes Edgecombe bringing it down the other way. Edgecombe gets it up top to Embiid. Embiid being guarded by Adebayo, hands it off to Maxey, coming to his left, down the lane, pulls it back, tries to kick it over. Wiggins jumps the passing lane, knocks it out of the air and gets the steal, saves it over to Mitchell, over to Larson, over to Hero, left corner three in transition for Hero, in and out, can't get it to stay, battle for the rebound. Embiid, good box out on Adebayo. Embiid bringing it down the other way. He has it on the right wing. Embiid now going to look to isolate in the post here against Bam. Leans in, foul line, fall away jumper. Good contest from Adebayo. Did not matter for Joel Embiid. He got it to go. He has been automatic from that range and with that shot this season in particular. Adebayo catches, attacking to his left, down the lane against Bam. Against Embiid, and Bam draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Corey said, should be an easy one. Easy one for who, though? Easy one for who? Why is my score off? Who scored? Philly scored. Forgot to give Embiid that bucket there. 8-7. 6-7. I gave 2 points to the wrong side. That's what happened. 6-7. Bam at the foul line for 2. He knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. We're tied at 7. Student said, the only players I like on the 76ers are Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Paul George. Joseph, what's up, Joseph? It's going well, brother, going well. Bam versus Joel Embiid and Maxey is going to be fun. It should be. Should be a good matchup here. Both teams need a win to stay where they are in the standings, or at least climb in the standings here. Embiid has it up top after Bam knocked down both free throws, 8-7. Embiid leans into Adebayo, doesn't get the foul call. I think Embiid wanted the same foul call that Bam just got there. They kick it out. Davion Mitchell, wide open right wing three. Got it to go for Mitchell. As Embiid hit the floor on the other end, was very slow and late to get back on defense. They get it over to Paul George. Paul George on the right wing. 76ers looking for an answer. Coming to his left off the Embiid screen. Hesitates. Down the lane to the rim. Two-handed slam for Paul George there. Moving in slow motion a little bit. Under 9 to go. Mitchell up top. Attacking to his left. Leans in. Stops. Kicks it out to Adebayo. He'll line up a 3. Bam Adebayo knocks down the 3. Big-time development in Bam Adebayo's game is not necessarily the three-point percentage, but the confidence and the volume in taking those three-point shots. Edgecombe gets a pass down low, kicks it back out to Paul George for a 3 on the catch and shoot. Got it to go in the relocation in the left corner over Wiggins for Paul George. It's 14-12. These teams going back and forth so far to start this game. We are in Miami, by the way. It is a road game for the 76ers. Hero down the lane gets stripped by Edgecombe. Ball still loose. Barlow dives on it. Mitchell gets on the floor, and it's going to be a jump ball between Mitchell and Barlow, I believe. Joe said Paul George is back. Nice to see it. Paul George, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey all back. When it looked like maybe, not Paul George, because we knew he was out with the suspension. We knew he'd be back eventually, but Embiid dealing with the injury, Maxey getting his hand hurt, did not look great. Hopefully we have a similar situation with Deuce McBride, and he comes back fully healthy, but man, it's not looking great. Jay Hammer said, what about Drummond? Drummond isn't really a part of the rotation anymore. Adem Bona has won out those backup minute spots. Miami wins the tip. Bam Adebayo leans in, step back, fall away jumper in the paint over Joel Embiid there. Taking a book right out of his page. Bam Adebayo up to 7. Maxey has it up top, coming to his left off the Embiid screen, kicks it over to George. George back up top to Maxey. Maxey gets it over to Embiid. Embiid on the right wing, backing down, Bam. In the paint, leans in, goes up, layup, got it to go for Joel Embiid. Bully ball move there. We haven't really seen that this season too often from Joel Embiid, but coming back from the injury, he's looking good, looking spry. Andrew Wiggins immediately answers with a three-point shot on the right wing as Davion Mitchell pushed the pace the other way with Embiid too busy arguing with the official. Embiid leans in, trying to draw the foul. They don't give it to him, and they do give it to him. A late foul call there. Embiid really emphatically trying to draw these fouls now. He gets the benefit of the doubt on that one. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. And Embiid does have a gripe. He gets slapped on the side of the head by Bam Adebayo there. Not on that play, on the previous play, where he didn't get the foul call. So he's got a gripe on that one, for sure. $7:30 to go. Embiid at the foul line for 2. Knocks down his first one. He's got one more coming. Joseph getting physical already between the two bigs. We know it's going to be a battle between Bam and Embiid here tonight. We have 1 foul on Bam and 1 foul on Embiid. I'm sure both players hoping to get the other one in foul trouble and get him out of this first quarter early. Embiid knocks down both free throws as he tends to do. Very good free throw shooter to kick it out. Wiggins gets blocked by Barlow on a 3-point attempt. Loose ball. Wiggins chases it down. Wiggins has it up top. Wiggins, tagging to his right, pulls it back, dancing with it, pulls it all the way out, hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell being guarded by Barlow on a switch. Mitchell's going to dance with his shot clock winding down. Got to make something out of nothing. Scoop with the right hand. Can't get it to go. Good defense from Barlow. Paul George with a good box out on rebound. He's pushing it the other way. Throws a lob up top to Edgecombe with a 2-handed slam. A 30-foot lob from PG to the rookie. And it's back to a 1-point game. Bam trying to push it the other way. Paul George sneaks in there, knocks the ball out of Bam's hands. Barlow dives for it, saves it over to George, over to Maxey. A deep 3, in and out, can't get it to stay. Rebound by Adebayo. He's going to push it the other way as we are quickly approaching the halfway point of this quarter. Off the handoff, Hero a fire 3, can't get it to go. Embiid with the rebound, bringing it down the other way. Embiid up top, head of steam, picked up by Mitchell. They swing it out to Edgecombe. They get it back to Embiid in the post. Embiid on the right wing. Puts up the jumper, looking for the foul call, doesn't get it. We're doing way too much foul baiting right now for Joel Embiid. Bam Adebayo bringing it down. Has it in the high post, hands it off to Hero. Hero to his right, has it in the mid-range. Step back, fall away 2 over Barlow. Rattles in and out, but ultimately drops down for Tyler Hero there. 21-18, a back-and-forth affair here tonight. Maxey has it up top, being guarded by Mitchell. 6 minutes to go. Edgecombe on the right wing, coming to his right, crossing over to his left, off the Embiid screen, gets it over to Embiid. Embiid out of the mid-range, puts up the jumper, can't get it to go. Bam Adebayo with the rebound. Bam bringing it down. Hit ahead pass to Larson, beating the 76ers down the court. Great hustle by Larson and a great thread the needle pass on Bam Adebayo there with the bounce pass hit ahead to Larson streaking down the middle of the court. And Paul George brings it to the sideline so 76ers can call a timeout. And we'll get our first stoppage in the game here, 5:30 to go. Really, really fast-paced action so far here to start. And the team's going back and forth. Some nice shot making, some nice run in the court, some nice transition play. We got Edgecombe beating the Miami Heat down the court for a 2-handed slam and transition there. And then Pelle Larsson ends up beating the 76ers defense down the court for the dunk on the other end. So these teams going back and forth, man. Bruce said that looked bad by Embiid. Embiid is a blob. He can definitely find himself in situations where he is hunting those fouls too much. Too much, for sure. Joseph said, good to see you as always. Appreciate you, Joseph. Zane said, Embiid looking to slow the game down. Well, at this stage in his career, with the physical ailments that he has struggled with throughout his career, he definitely prefers more of a half-court game. It's always been weird that, not weird, they've obviously found ways to make it work, but it's always been weird the dynamic of Maxey and Embiid because Maxey's a speed demon, man. You can tell he wants to get out and running. He wants these easy shots. He wants these pull-up shots in transition. He wants to go up and down as much as possible. And then you have Embiid. And at this point, and maybe earlier in his career, Embiid would have been able to be like, yeah, let's run, let's get up and down. But at this point in Embiid's career, older, he's tacked on muscle, he's tacked on weight, the injuries, the lower leg injuries, the back injuries that he's dealt with. He definitely wants to play more of a half-court game. So it's obviously a nice push and pull between the two players, and they developed this really nice chemistry between the two of them. But you could tell they're playing more of Embiid's game right now, and playing through Embiid. against Adebayo here. Maxey's only taking the one shot, and it was a deep pull-up three in transition. So you could tell, usually when Embiid is out there, they're going to lean more towards Embiid because obviously if they could run, they would. But part of the reason why they bring in a Mbona, why he won those backup minutes, is because you compare him with Maxey, and Mbona can get up and down the court with Maxey, and we could really start to push. And the beauty of the 76ers team is that they have really done a good job of playing to the strengths of both of their stars. The Knicks could take some lessons from this, right? So Maxey will be like, yeah, let's play through Embiid to start the game, because I'll get mine. I'll always get mine. And I wish the Knicks took some beats from the 76ers offense, where it's like, let's focus on getting the big man going, because the guard has the ball in his hands. He could always get it going. Ball's always in his hands, right? So I love Maxey being like, well, my first shot didn't go down, and Embiid, he's feeling it. We're getting it to him. He's taking advantage of those situations, running some handoff actions. Now Embiid is a more talented player and a better player than Towns, don't get me wrong, but definitely some things I think the Knicks could take some lessons from by watching them. Herman White, what's up, Herman? Tyrese Maxey, Pad, got lucky against the Hornets. Watch tonight, less than 15 points tonight. Go Hornets. Tyrese Maxey, who averages like 28 points per game, got lucky. He's only going to get 15 tonight. I don't know, brother. I doubt it. Feared Nothing said, what's uglier, Miami's ugly uniforms or the way Embiid moves? Crazy. I don't mind Miami's uniforms. I don't mind it. Embiid fires a right corner three, can't get it to go. Mitchell with the rebound. We're going to push it the other way. Shovels it over to Bam down the lane. Two-handed slam from Bam Adebayo. Wanted the foul, too. Quick hit ahead to Paul George down the lane. Gets the layup and the foul for Paul George against Khalil Ware, and a little two-handed touch foul there. And just like that, these teams, again, going back and forth. Bam on the other end off the missed three from Embiid. Gets out in transition, beats him down the court, gets the two-handed slam. And then on the other way, 76ers are like, okay, we're going to push it the other way. And Paul George gets the layup and the foul against Khalil Ware there. Joe said Brunson is just unguardable. Yeah, which is why, make sure everybody else eats first, because you could always get yours. Hunter Juice with the punter. Crunchy Cheetos or Puffs? Crunchy. Paul George knocks down his and one free throw. 4-point game, 25-21. 5:15 to go here in this first quarter. Adebayo has it up top being guarded by Barlow. They swing it over to Hero in the right corner. Driving it down in the lane, leans in. The layup got it to go. Nice manipulation and deceleration step from Hero there. Not great defense from the 76ers. Maxey gets it over to Embiid. Embiid gets it over to Edgecombe. Walks into the pull-up straightaway three. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Ware. And it looks like Miami's resorting back into a zone there, which is why Edgecombe felt the need to just fire up that three with confidence. Just came up just short. They lob it up top to Ware. Ware can't grab it as it's knocked out of the air by Embiid. It's out of bounds going back to Philly here. A bad pass from Davion Mitchell. Twilson, what's up, Twilson? Happy to see you, brother. Jay, what's up, Jay? Can the Heat get Cam Thomas? The Bucks waived him. I don't know what the time frame rules are, but I don't think they can sign him and him be eligible for their playoff roster. I don't think they do playoff rosters per se anymore, but I don't think they are going to be able to sign him for the remainder of this season. Nor do I think they want to. Incorporating a brand new high-usage, shot-taking guy on your team with, less than 10 games remaining in the regular season, not sure they want to do that. Oubre pump fakes, kicks it out, Edgecombe this time out of the left corner against that zone, gets it to go down. There you go. That's why you got to shoot him confidently. Hero has it up top, being guarded by Edgecombe. They get over to Jaime Jaquez, who just subbed in. Jaquez on the left wing, swings it over to Hero. Hero, jab step back, straightaway three, over Edgecombe, trying to get it back, and he does. Rattles in the step back straightaway three, right over VJ Edgecombe. Here comes Paul George, dancing with his step back straightaway three for George. George can't get it to go. Rebound to Adebayo. Adebayo quickly pushing it the other way. We are now under 4 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Adebayo attacking Edgecombe, who's mismatched onto him. They bring a double team. They kick it out to Mitchell. Over to Jaquez. Catches, pump fakes, jab step, puts up the three over Embiid. And Jaime Jaquez is knocking down threes. If Jaime Jaquez is knocking down threes, could be a long night for Philadelphia if the Miami Heat are going to shoot it this well from three-point range. Oubre has it up top. 9-point lead is opened up for Miami. Oubre gets it over to Embiid. Embiid kicks it over to George. Extra pass. Edgecombe in the corner. Doesn't want to take that three there. Cross-court pass to Oubre. He'll line up the left wing three. In and out, can't get it to stay. Khalil Ware the rebound. And going to the zone has forced 76ers to settle for some perimeter shots here. Hero driving to his left off a Ware screen. They kick it up top. Ware, extra pass over to Mitchell. Extra pass over to Hero. Hero being guarded by Embiid now. Hero's going to look to dance. Swings it out to Davion Mitchell. Back to Hero. Hero has space. Catches. Pump fakes. Down the lane in the paint. Leans in. Throws up the floater. Off the back rim. Can't get it to go. Khalil Ware, an offensive rebound. Has it against Embiid. Leans in. Puts up the fall-away jumper. Throws up an air ball. Terrible shot attempt. And Kelly Oubre goes down holding his knee. He's going to pop right back up. Just an awkward landing. And it's out of bounds. They call it off of Oubre, I believe, here. Bruce said, personally, I'm ready for the playoff. Brunson, 40 a night. Hopefully, I'm ready for it. I'm not worried about Brunson. I'm worried about everybody else on the team. And it's up to Brunson to make sure everybody else gets it going. He's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. But I'm looking forward to the playoff run. I'm with you. I really am. I have talked all year that I think this team is more than capable. Khalil Ware steps behind the three-point line and knocks down a right wing three over Embiid there. And the three-point shots continue to flow for Miami. 3 straight, giving them this 12-point lead on a 9-0 run. Edgecombe in the middle of the lane against Ware. He's going to pull it back out. Edgecombe in the corner. Kicks it up top to Paul George. Cross-court pass to Grimes. Pass fake. Grimes will fire up the three. Good contest by Drew Smith. Can't get it to go down. Ware the rebound. Here comes Hero. And again, 76ers forced to settle for a lot of perimeter jump shots, getting no attacks towards the rim right now. Hero gets it over to Jaquez, now back over to Hero. Hero driving to his left against Embiid there, and a late foul call, but indeed a foul call is made, and Hero will go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Hero not too happy that the foul call was late, but either way, he's going to go to the foul line for 2. Colossal said, I got banned for 40 plus. He's got 9 on 3 for 3 from the field. You never know. Zane said, it's clear Sixers are looking to slow the pace in the first half with Joel and max the pace fast with Maxey. Yep. And they usually do a pretty good job of that, but Tyrese Maxey being out right now and them having to go up against this Miami zone has really forced them into the jump shots. And with nobody to really break the zone with speed or ball handling, Paul George, VJ Edgecombe, and this is off. My bad, guys. Where are we at? Here we go. Paul George, VJ Edgecombe, Kelly Oubre, Quentin Grimes. Not the greatest off-the-dribble attackers. Oubre's more of a slasher off-ball than an on-ball attacker. Quentin Grimes, similarly, although he can put the ball on the floor a little bit. Same with Paul George, same with VJ Edgecombe. But they're not doing a good job of attacking the zone right now. Just swinging the ball around the perimeter and settling for three-point shots. Susan said, Melo Ball is injured. What happened? IQ is injured and BI so close to the postseason. What happened? What happened? What happened to these guys, Susan? Joe said, I just want the playoffs to start already. I don't care about the regular season anymore. Yeah, it always happens. Final games of the regular season here starts to weigh on some people. We are during a timeout break, so we can look real quick. We talked about it. The only teams that are really caring about the regular season still are these teams in the middle. Like, Pistons are cool. Celtics are cool. The Knicks are pretty cool with where they're at, even though they could drop down to 4. They're fine as long as they don't drop out of the top 4. I think the Knicks are fine with wherever they land. You got the Raptors, the Hawks, the 76ers, the Magic, the Heat, and the Hornets all vying for... I think Toronto's pretty fine. All vying for 6 to 10 here, right? And if Toronto goes on a little bit of a losing streak, they've been, like I've said, they've been playing well lately. So they clearly want to stay in the top. Well, everybody wants to stay in the top 6 to stay out of that play-in, but they have a Toronto over Orlando. They got a 3-game lead there with, the game starting to tick down here. So again, unless they go on a losing streak to end the season, they're going to be fine there. Atlanta, for the most part, going to be fine, but they're battling Philadelphia. Orlando's dropped down in the standings here with the losses they've accumulated. And Miami has to win these games. Philly has to win these games. Both of these teams in the play-in here want to try and get out of this play-in situation. Hero at the foul line for 2 free throws after that timeout. Hero misses the first free throw. We went over his free throw shooting, 93% from the foul line this year, and he misses the first one of the night. Hero does knock down the second one. Would have been surprised if he missed 2 in a row there. And 76ers will walk it down the other way. Edgecombe has it up top. Gets it over to Maxey, who's back in. Embiid stays in. He's played the entirety of the first quarter so far. Interesting. They kick it over to Maxey. Catches, pump fake. Bam Adebayo goes flying for the pump fake. Maxey manipulates his way into the mid-range baseline pull-up jumper, and he gets it to go down. Nice move for Tyrese Maxey there. Jaquez has it up top being guarded by Oubre. They lob it down low to Adebayo. Adebayo in the high post. Jab step coming to his right. Picks up his handle. Kicks it out to Jaquez. Jaquez has already knocked down 1 3 tonight. Jaquez swings it over to Hero. Hero being guarded by Maxey. He's going to dance with it. Pulls it out. Hesitates. Driving to his right. Has it in the paint. Gets blocked by Maxey. What a defensive play for Tyrese Maxey. He's pushing it the other way. Maxey throws the pass down low to Edgecombe, who lays it up and in. Tyrese Maxey pushing the pace now for his team. Hero catches, jab step, puts up the straightaway 3, in and out, stays out this time. And Oubre cleans it up with a rebound. Here comes Maxey bringing it down the other way. Maxey up top, coming to his right up the Embiid screen. Maxey behind the back pass to Embiid. Embiid catches, pump fakes, swings it over to Maxey. Maxey coming to his left off the Embiid screen. Pulls it back out, spins. He's got nowhere to go, keeps it, bullet pass inside the Grimes, kicks it out to Edgecombe, a left corner 3, can't get that one to go. He's now 1 for 3 from 3-point range. Here comes Hero bringing it down with a minute to go. Now under a minute to go here in this first quarter. Hero over to Ware. Ware back to Hero. Hero jab step trying to come to his left and gets fouled by Quentin Grimes, playing too close. Gets hit with a blocking foul. CJ Trent, what's up, CJ? Bruce said Charlotte is last year's Detroit, ahead of schedule. Heard this in the chat last week. Can't take credit. Yeah, they're a little bit like Detroit last year. They got healthy. They're playing well. They're meshing together perfectly. Going to the next season, they're going to be insane to start the year, the way they have been for pretty much half of the second half of the season here. They're going to be really good next year and really dangerous, especially another offseason to continue to, 1, improve their team, but also 2, Con Knipple in year 2, Brandon Miller in year 4? LaMelo Ball in year whatever he's in, another year of development for Ball, right? Can they actually go and get a legitimate big man? Drew Smith driving it down, draws a foul on Maxey. Maxey can't believe the call. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws, Drew Smith. Do believe he's in the act of shooting. Yeah, he's in the act of shooting. That looks like a clean strip from Maxey. But Smith is going to go to the foul line for 2. Fear Nothing said Embiid plays the whole quarter and only manages 2 rebounds. Just show how soft of a player he is. I don't think it's softness, brother. I think those are the injuries. Those are the injuries. We've talked about it. His rebound numbers are extremely low now in comparison to where he used to be because of the injuries. It's got nothing to do with softness. Hector, what's up, Hector? Drew Smith knocks down the first free throw, misses the second free throw, doesn't get the friendly roll. 10-point lead for Miami here. They put up a 38-point first quarter. They get over to Maxey, down the lane, leans in, draws the foul, gets the shot to go down. He's going to the foul line for 1 more. Tyrese Maxey heating up here at the end of the quarter. MTK Marketing, what's up, MTK? Jaden Ivey was waived. Jaden Ivey was indeed waived. Yes, Kinohara. Ivey was waived. He's going down a pretty dangerous path. He's talked about dealing with heavy bouts of depression. Was starting to post very weird, cryptic, not great Instagram videos. And Chicago just waived him. Clearly needs some help. dealing with a little bit of mental issues right now. Drew Smith down the lane, kicks it up top. They swing it over to Fontecchio. Fontecchio off the bounce, leans in, kicks it out to Smith. Extra pass over to Taquez. And they call an offensive foul on Khalil Ware. Didn't see the contact under the rim. Ware on Maxey there. Ware sets the screen on Maxey. He just kind of runs into him. Maxey runs right into Ware. They call the moving screen on Ware. It is indeed a moving screen. I said, whoa, I hope he gets some help. Yeah, it didn't look great. I love Jaden Ivey coming out of Purdue, man. But, yeah. Does not look good for Jaden Ivey right now. Is that? Yeah, I think that's James Edwards in the game right there. So Maxey has it up top. They get it over to Paul George. Paul George back to Maxey. Maxey catches, pump fakes up top, kicks it out to Paul George. A right wing three. Got it to go for Paul George. 3-point shots now going down for Philly. It's a 4-point game despite the 38-point quarter here for Miami. A half-court heave comes off the side of the backboard, and it will not go. And that will be the end of our first quarter right there. 38-34, a high-powered offensive first quarter here for both sides. Running and gunning, getting up and down, shot for shot, mixing it up. Miami did knock down 3 threes in a row to go up by 12 points earlier in the game, but clearly Philly battling back and knocking down shots to match them. Man, I can't believe Duke got eliminated. I can believe it. I was even rooting for it. Get Off My Lawn Records. What's up, Get Off My Lawn? Happy to see you as always. Said, SoFi, I understand this. The Heat are trying to squeak into the playoffs, and the 76ers are trying to overtake the Hawks and the Raptors to avoid the play-in. Wear and tear on the team. Yeah, we can take a look at the standings at the end of the first quarter here. So the Miami Heat are sitting at 39-36. Wow, the 76ers are sitting at 41-33. So still an uphill battle to climb here for Miami. They got to get lucky with some losses here for either Toronto, Atlanta, or Philly in order to jump up. Toronto, Atlanta, or Philly. They got to be able to jump 3 teams in order to get to that 6th spot. I doubt it. It looks like Miami's going to be in the play-in. Orlando's going to be in the play-in. Charlotte's going to be in the play-in. But what will also be decided is, obviously, even if you are going to be in the play-in, you want to get to the 7 and 8. You want to get to that 7 and 8. Not a lot of time left in the regular season here. But even if you get to the 7 and 8, you get 2 games, 2 opportunities in order to make the playoffs. All you got to do is win one of them. But you get 2 opportunities to do so. You don't want to be in the 9-10 because then you are in an elimination basis and you got to win 2 games in order to get there. So Charlotte would at least love to at least get the 8, if not the 7. Same with Miami, same with Orlando. Everybody wants to stay out of that 9-10 first game there. Kenar said, go Hawks. My over 47 still alive, but not going to be easy with Boston in 2 games against the Heat and the Knicks on their schedule for the Hawks. Where are they sitting at? You need 47. They're at 42. Oof. I don't know if they get there, brother. I don't know if they get to 47. They got to win 5 of their last 7 games here. That's rough. That's a rough one. We can take a look at their schedule real quick. See who they have remaining entirely. So the Atlanta Hawks, they have Boston. Tough. Orlando has not been playing well. So let's say they beat Orlando. Brooklyn, they should beat. New York, tough. Cleveland, tough. Cleveland, tough. Miami, tough. Oh, man. Brother, I don't know, man. He said, yeah, dropped too many early this season. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I give them credit for pivoting off of Trae Young when they did. And getting back quality role players. It's not the greatest trade in the world, but they got back quality role players in C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert. And I give them credit for pivoting off the Trae Young situation and just leaning into what they have now with Jalen Johnson. But, yeah, too many games earlier in the season, even though they've been playing extremely well lately. I mean, look how many games they won in a row. We're finally losing to Houston, but even still, bounce back. Golden State, Memphis, Detroit win in overtime. They lost to Boston, but beat Sacramento, and now they got a tough schedule to end. They tried to get your 47 for Yuki Nohara. They're trying to get there. I said, I love the Trae Young trade for them. I mean, they had to pivot off of him. It sucks trading your franchise cornerstone player for role guys, but that was kind of the value add at the time, so they had to do something. Susan said, who beat Duke? That would indeed be the UConn Huskies, Susan. UConn Huskies eliminated Duke. Here we go, start of the second quarter. Muhammad, what's up, Muhammad? I'm doing good. Muhammad, how are you doing? Maxey, step back, fall away. Long 2 for Maxey. Rolls around the rim a little bit, gets a friendly roll, and he gets to the drop down for Tyrese Maxey to open up the second quarter. It's a 2-point game after all of that scoring for Miami and 3-point shooting for Miami. Philadelphia right there. It's not boding well for Miami here tonight, in my opinion. Pelle Larsson coming to right up the Ware screen. They swing it over to Jaquez, now over to Fontecchio, and no hesitation three on the left wing for Fontecchio. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Grimes. Here comes Quentin Grimes bringing it down. He has it up top. Swings it over to Paul George. Paul George being guarded by Wiggins. Coming to his left off the bonus screen. Pull-up three for Paul George. Got it to go down. And Paul George looking a little Paul George-esque as of late since coming back from the suspension. Seems good. Seems rested. Seems healthy. Seems like he's got his head on straight right now. He's looking good. Fontecchio swings it over to Larsson. Larsson attacking to his left against Maxey. Bump. Euro leans in. They swing it around the horn back to Wiggins. Wiggins back up top to Jaquez. Will settle for a three. Jaquez can't get it to go down. Not a strength of his game at all. And I have yet to see him attack one time here tonight. So good defense from Philly to keep him out on the perimeter. Paul George crosses over in the lane, kicks it out. Good defense by Wiggins over to Grimes. Back to Paul George. George coming to his left off the Grimes screen. He's going to dance with it against Fontecchio now. Spinning with it. Crossing over to his left. Pump fakes, puts up the three. Well contested. Shoots up almost an air ball. Almost banks it in even. That's how poorly he shot that three. Fontecchio cleans up the loose ball rebound. They lob it down low to Ware. Ware can't get the putback. Gets his own offensive rebound, and he goes up with the two-handed slam. Way to be aggressive for Kel'el Ware there. And a nice interior pass from Fontecchio. And now we're back and forth, 40-39. Keno said, I never liked PG. Always a fraud in my mind. They try to lob it down low to Grimes. Grimes can't get the layup, but he does recover his own offensive rebound and lay it up and in over Ware there. Got to grab that rebound if you're Ware. Jaquez bringing it down the other way, has it on the right wing. Up top to Ware. Ware will fire the straightaway three over Bona. Way off on that one. Bricks it off of the back of the rim. Oubre hit ahead to Maxey. Maxey's got a lane. Kicks it out to Grimes. Grimes coming to his right. Shovels it over to Oubre. Scoop lay with the right hand. Got it to go for Kelly Oubre over Kel'el Ware there. And again, Kel'el Ware. Got to be a rim protector. Not really protecting the rim right now for Miami. Jaquez gets it over to Wiggins. Wiggins on the right wing, attacking to his right. Step back, fall away, baseline jumper, off the back rim, can't get it to go. Rebound to Bona. Bona gets it over to Maxey. Maxey pushing it down the other way. Maxey up top, catches, pump fakes over to Oubre. Oubre swings it over to Paul George, back to Oubre. Trying to get it back to Maxey. Good denial from Pelle Larsson. Oubre now finally gets it over to Maxey. Maxey on the right wing, being guarded by Larsson. Hesitates, now puts up the three. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Rebound to Fontecchio. Fontecchio pushing it the other way. Fontecchio gets it over to Ware. Ware over to Wiggins. Wiggins swings through to his right, spins to his left, down the lane, draws the foul, and gets the layup to go against Paul George. He's going to go to the foul line for one more with 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Foong Pei, what's up, Foong Pei? Keno said, Pelle Larsson, what a great draft pick. It's just solid 3-and-D, energy guy, right? It's just solid. It's just solid. Solid second-round pick for Miami, as they tend to get. Man said, good ball movement by Philly. Really good ball movement. Zane said, the Sixers are Maxey's team. As soon as he stepped on the floor, they came storming back. It is Maxey's team. He is the best player on this team. For sure. Wiggins misses a free throw. That's now 2 missed free throws here tonight for the Miami Heat. One from Hero, now one from Wiggins. Oubre off the handoff, driving it down against Jaquez. Leans in, lefty floater, throws up an air ball. Bona right there for the offensive rebound. Can't get the putback. And a late, really late foul call is made against Bam Adebayo there. It bounced on the rim a couple of times. Bam went up and secured the rebound. And then the foul was called on Adebayo on the shot attempt by Bona. See the replay here. Yeah, it's a foul. Yeah. There's contact there for sure, but still think Bona should have finished that. I think the referee waited to see if he was going to finish it or not. Keenar said, all his Knicks fans respect Maxey, only on Philly, maybe VJ too. Yeah, I love Maxey. I love Edgecombe. Unfortunately, the way they wear a Philly jersey, but I love those guys. Everyone else, don't care for at all. Barlow, I kind of like a little bit too. Shout out Barlow. Thanks for covering non-Knicks from Foong Pei. Appreciate you, Foong Pei, for hanging out with me during non-Knicks games. Abona knocks down both free throws. 8:40 to go here. Jaquez driving to his left, kicks it out to Larson, swings it over to Adebayo. Adebayo down the lane, takes a bump, puts up the floater. Doesn't get it to go, but he does draw the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. Bam Adebayo getting really good at knowing when guys are reaching in and just rises up to shoot it, whether it's floaters or jumpers, whatever the case may be, and he's getting himself to the foul line pretty consistently here. That's how we got to 83. All those foul shots. Bam misses a free throw. That's now 3 missed free throws. Starshmello, what's up, Star? Bam's got one more free throw coming. Kiara said 43 free throws, if I recall. Yes, indeed, brother. Yes, indeed. Bam knocks down the second free throw. And it is a 2-point game. Maxey bringing it down against Wiggins. Maxey coming to his left off the bonus screen. Larson switches onto him. Maxey gets it over to George. George gets it down low to Oubre. Oubre leans in, puts up the floater over Adebayo. Can't get it to go. Oubre gets the offensive rebound, goes up. Gets blocked. Rebound over to Mitchell. Davion Mitchell pushing it the other way. Hit ahead to Fontecchio. A transition 3 for Fontecchio. Got it to go. Nothing but net for Simone Fontecchio there. And just like that, Miami retakes a 1-point lead. Maxey has it up top, and the lights are flashing here for Miami. What was that? They swing it over to Oubre, a right corner 3 for him. He comes up short. Rebound to Fontecchio. Fontecchio gets it over to Mitchell. Davion Mitchell bringing it down, shovels it over to Adebayo. Adebayo on the left wing, dancing with it, crosses over to his left. Has Bona in the post now, backing him down, leans in, pump fake, spins, almost lost his balance, kicks it out. Fontecchio, another 3, just made one, misses that one. Long rebound, Adebayo able to save him from going out of bounds. Jab step, taking the baseline, leans in, draws yet another foul on Bona there. That one, I didn't like that foul call at all by Bona. I thought Bona played really solid defense, and they bailed Bam Adebayo out. Never mind, that's a foul on Adem Bona. Reaching in, putting his hand on the waist of Adebayo. All Adebayo has to do is when he puts the ball on the floor, then rise up to shoot a floater, and it's a foul every time. So that's bad defense by Bona. Keenar said, thank goodness the actual GOAT has the playoff record when people actually attempt defense and the refs call fewer BS fouls. Captain Mast, what's up, Captain Mast? Adebayo knocks down the first free throws. You got another one coming. And Adebayo knocks down both free throws. 3-point lead for Miami now. 7:30 to go. Maxey bringing it down, hands it off to Grimes. Grimes hands it off to George. George coming to his right off the bonus screen. Crossing over to his left, step back, mid-range, follow-away jumper, well contested by Wiggins, off the back rim. And a loose ball foul is called on Miami, I believe. On Miami. Loose ball foul on Miami. Bodies hitting the floor everywhere. I couldn't really tell who the foul was on. Guys were just jumbled up there, jumping up, slapping at the ball, trying to knock it away. They ultimately call the foul on Miami, on Larson, I believe. And Larson trying to argue that it should be on Bona there. But they hit Larson with the foul. And Miami and Spoelstra use a challenge there. Miami and Spoelstra use their challenge there. I think pretty decent use of the challenge. We'll see how the officials see it. Could be a foul. They could end up changing this foul onto Bona. Could end up calling it a double foul because both guys are holding on and hanging on to each other. Paul George, by the way, with 14 points. Don't want to overlook the game Paul George is having. He's leading the way so far with 14. Maxey with only 7. 7, 1, and 2 for Maxey. Bam Adebayo, 12, leading the way from Miami here tonight. Hero also having a pretty good game. We do have a pretty full NBA slate tonight as well. This was the earliest start time game. Celtics Hawks are facing off. You can't see. You can't see it right now. Celtics Hawks are facing off. Tied at 15 so far early in this first quarter. Jaylen Brown has made his return after Jason Tatum started to look really good again. Starting to look good from Jason Tatum, and then here comes the return of Jaylen Brown. Let's see if they can figure it out before they go to the playoffs here. But the Hawks playing extremely well as of late. That should be a good matchup. Later on tonight, we got Suns Grizzlies, Bulls Spurs, Timberwolves Mavs, Cavs Jazz, Pistons Thunder. Should have been a good game. It sucks that we haven't been able to get the Pistons or the Thunder to match up properly this season. Obviously, they only played twice, but earlier in the season when the Thunder traveled to Detroit to play the Pistons, the Thunder were mired in injury. No SGA, no J-Dub. Chet Holmgren did play, but no Hartenstein, no AJ Mitchell for that game against the Pistons. And the Pistons were fully healthy. And now here tonight, as the Pistons travel down to Oklahoma City, we obviously already knew that Cade Cunningham was going to miss this game, so that's not in question there, but Jalen Duren is out, Tobias Harris is out, Duncan Robinson is out, Isaiah Stewart is out, and it's just like, my goodness. Your entire starting lineup is out outside of All-Star Thompson. Keenar said, if I were Adam Silver, I would instruct the refs to call at least one flopping foul in every first-round game. I don't care who it's on, but the message needs to be sent. I think it's pretty clear, Kinahara, that Adam Silver does not really care about the product of basketball that's being played on the court. He is clearly just beholden to his gambling and prediction market partners. So, does not really care how the basketball looks, just as long as the sponsors are happy, right? Just as long as they got the FanDuel and the DraftKings ads up, Adam Silver sleeps well at night, knowing that players across the league are flopping for calls and getting the calls. They implemented a rule for the officials, a call for the officials that they can utilize to punish players for intentionally flopping. And I think I've seen it a total of 2 times this year being called. And we've watched a lot of basketball on this channel. And I've watched a lot of basketball even outside of the games we've covered. I think I've seen it a grand total of 2 times called this year. The flopping technical foul, I think I've seen it 2 times this year. I agree with you though, Kinahar, in terms of I don't know why we don't call flopping fouls more or flopping technicals. It's not a foul; it's a technical foul. I don't know why we don't do that more. Call the flopping technical foul and start avoiding teams free points, man. Start embarrassing people for being like, you flopped, sorry, you flopped. Embiid has it in the middle of the zone, knocks down the foul line jumper. Here we go, we're back into it. Miami quickly trying to push off this make. They swing it around. Good transition defense for the 76ers here. Mitchell has it on the right wing. Isolated against Grimes. Leans in. Kicks it in the corner to... was that Larson or Fontecchio? I think that's Larson. That's Fontecchio. Fontecchio couldn't handle the pass. A bad pass from Mitchell. Goes out of bounds. Embiid did knock down that mid-range shot. Fontecchio will sub out now for Tyler Hero coming back in. Zane said if they did, the Thunder would be the 8th seed. The problem, Zane, is that the Thunder are legitimately the best team in the NBA. And the fact that they get so much help from the officials makes it feel practically impossible to beat them. They don't need the officials' help, and yet they still get it. They get into the middle against Embiid. Embiid gets blocked by Wiggins on the jump shot. Embiid picks it up down the lane, throws a bad lob attempt to Barlow, but he's able to go up and catch it and goes up on the other side and lays it up and in as he comes down with it. Ends up being a nice pass from Embiid. Hero gets it over to Bam. Bam swings it over to Wiggins. Jab step, driving to his right, hard to the rim. Leans in, kicks it out the last second to nobody, and it goes out of bounds. We are quickly approaching and about to pass the halfway point of this second quarter. Game's really flying by here. Connor Simmons, what's up, Connor? I just subbed up, love the content. Appreciate you, Connor. Appreciate you, brother. Maxey has it up top, being guarded by Pell Larson. Coming to his left. They swing it over to Embiid. Embiid has it up top. Embiid's going to back down Wiggins now. Backing him down, leans in, has 2 defenders on him. They kick it out to Maxey, ran up the 3-point line, kicks it out to Grimes, left corner 3 wide open, just as the shot clock buzzer expires. Quentin Grimes gets the 3-point shot to go down out of the corner. Mitchell hands it off to Adebayo. Up top, jab step, dance with it against Barlow. Kicks it out to Hero. Hero catches. Jab step, coming to his left. Step back, straight away, 3 for Hero. Hit one earlier in the game, comes up short on that one. Maxey comes in for the rebound, pushing it the other way, 5:30 to go. Maxey up top, in and out dribble, driving to his right, bump Euro down the lane, gets blocked from behind by Wiggins. His second behind block like that, chase down block and a jump shot. Hero dribbles it under the basket, leans in, kicks it up top to Mitchell, over to Adebayo, over to Larson, wide open, left corner three, can't get it to go. They had a 3-on-1 transition break there, Miami, and they did not have good spacing, did not play it well. Ended up having to settle for, admittedly, an open three, but still a three-point shot when he should have had a layup. And now on the other end, you didn't knock it down, and now on the other end, Maxey manipulates his way to the mid-range, fall-away baseline jumper. Larson, good attack, kicks it to the corner to Wiggins. Can't get the three to go. Larson does a good job knocking the rebound over to Wiggins. Wiggins, hop step in the lane, leans in, and gets the layup to go over Oubre, who does a good job avoiding the contact and not giving him the foul. Maxey has it up top in this 4-point game to get over to Embiid. Embiid gets it back to Maxey. Maxey being guarded by Larson, over to Embiid. Embiid on the right wing. Backing down to Wiggins. Backing him down. Sees a double team. Leans in, puts up the floater anyway, comes up short, but gets the friendly roll off the front of the rim. Connor said, I got the 76ers to win. They're looking pretty good right now. When I talked about earlier in the game, all the three-point shots going down for Miami, if it slowed down, it was going to be rough for them to stay in this, considering Philadelphia was hanging in close with them. They miss another three as Pelle Larsson misses it on the right wing. Maxey up top, coming to his right, trying to extend this lead to kick it over to Embiid. Embiid catches, pump fakes. He's going to back down. Adebayo now steps through in the paint, sees a double team, throws it up at the rim, doesn't get it to go, but a late foul is called. And Embiid will go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Student said the real problem with the refs calling flopping call is that they will be selective on which players they will give the call to. Yeah, I mean, the problem with officiating the NBA is they are very subjective with who they give certain foul calls to. Connor C said, in soccer, flopping is the 18-yard box. To falsely draw a penalty often leads to a yellow card, which would be the equivalent of a technical foul in basketball. Start doing that, perhaps. They have the rules. They implemented a specific call in basketball in order to do exactly that, Eric. They have, it's this. If you ever see a basketball player doing this on the court, they're instructing the official to call a flopping technical foul. That's what a flopping technical foul is. They have that in their tool belt. They have that in their repertoire, and they just don't call it. They don't call it. Which tells you that the NBA doesn't really see flopping as too big of an issue. Otherwise, it would be utilized more. Embiid misses the second free throw, but Miami can't recover the rebound. It goes out of bounds. It's going to stay here with Philly. Embiid splits the free throws. He did make the first one. He's up to 14 points. Paul George up to 14 points. Grimes gets it into Barlow. Barlow gets it over to Grimes. They get it over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe directing some traffic. They get over to Embiid, right wing. Backing down. Davion Mitchell settles for the fall away two. Can't get it to go. Mitchell the rebound. Here comes Adebayo, pushing the other way. Bam. Hesitation move against Embiid. Pump fake, leans in, spins, got nowhere to go. Kicks it out to Jaquez. Extra pass over to Mitchell. Swings it out to Larson. Pump fakes from 3, taking the baseline. Bump Euro down the lane. Kicks it out to Hero. A pump fake from Hero. Driving it down. Hop step. Euro down the lane. Lefty layup. Got it to go. What a smooth move from Tyler Hero. I wasn't even sure what he was going for. Was it a hop step? Was it a Euro step? Next thing I know, he's taking his 2 steps anyway, and he gets the layup to go down. What a move for Tyler Hero. Paul George on the left wing. Swings it over to Embiid. Embiid catches. Pump fakes. Down the lane. Leaves it off for Edgecombe. Edgecombe up top being guarded by Jaquez. Taking the lane to his left. Mid-range fall-away jumper for Edgecombe. Off the back rim. Can't get it to go. Adebayo does a good job skying for the rebound. 57-52. For under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Adebayo has it up top being guarded by Barlow. Coming to his left. Crossing over to his right. Leans in. Pump fake. Spins. Kicks it out to Mitchell. Up top to Hero. Hero. Jab step. Coming to his left. Good defense from Grimes to stay in front of him. Good defense from Grimes to stay in front of him again on the next move. Now coming to his right off the Bam screen. Pulls it back out. Crosses over to his right. Shot clock winding down. Has to put it up. Comes up short. Loose ball rebound. Out to Mitchell. Inside to Jaquez. Jaquez throws up the floater. He comes up short. Rebound gets knocked out of the air to Larson. He misses a layup, but he finally gets the tip up and in. How many opportunities there for Miami? They finally walk away with 2 points. And the 76ers will call a timeout there. Excellent hustle and energy there for the Miami Heat to ensure they walked away with 2. Keenar said, the point is that you discourage the players from doing the flopping by calling a couple or a few of them. Yeah, but like I said, considering that they implemented that rule, that is a new rule the past couple of years. I don't remember what year it was, but a couple of years ago, they implemented the flopping technical call. It was not available to referees to use that before. They implemented that. They gave the officials a way to call it. And they called it for a couple of games, like the first 20 or 30 games of that season, and it's gone away since, which tells me that the league, all they wanted was for people to stop talking about flopping, right? It got really bad that year. With all the news cycle covering the NBA, the media covering the NBA at large. Every segment was like, what's going on with flopping? There's too much flopping in the NBA. It's getting really rough to watch with all the flopping in the NBA. And so they implemented the flopping technical foul. Like I said, they used it for about the first 20 games. You saw one maybe every other game or so. And then it went away. And as soon as it went away, the NBA was like, oh, good. Nobody's talking about it anymore? All right, don't worry about calling flopping fouls. We're fine, right? Anything to just get people to stop talking about it whenever it becomes a big deal, right? Like tanking this season. The tanking has not been any different this season than it's been in any of the previous 40 seasons in the NBA that tanking has been around since they implemented the lottery to begin with. The tanking has been exactly the same. But now this season, all the media has been talking about as of late, the past 20 games or so in the regular season here, has been all of the egregious tanking scenarios going on across the league and how many bad teams there are in the NBA. Because all these teams are tanking, right? So what does the NBA do? Oh, we're going to handle tanking this offseason. We're going to implement all these new rules to take care of tanking, right? When tanking has been the exact same the last 40 years. Why all of a sudden now? It's because people are talking about it. And as long as we can just put everybody at ease, put the larger media at ease by saying, well, we're going to take care of it this offseason by implementing new rules to dissuade tanking. Nothing's going to dissuade tanking. As long as you have a lottery system where the teams with the worst record have the highest probability of winning that lottery, teams are going to tank for the highest probability. You flatten the odds. All flattening the odds did was make it so that 10 teams are now tanking instead of 4 teams or 5 teams for the possible worst record in the NBA, right? So honestly, they exacerbated the tanking themselves by flattening the lottery odds. Just go back to the original lottery odds and you go, you know what, flattening the odds actually made things overall probably worse. Let's go back to the previous lottery odds. Maybe flatten them a little bit less. Maybe you could still tweak it a little bit. The worst team in the NBA, instead of getting a 25% chance of getting the first round pick, you get a 20% chance or something like that. But overall, tanking is always going to be around. So all you need to worry about is limiting it to 3 or 4 teams, right? Fighting for the worst record in the NBA. Instead of limiting it to the 10 teams not making the playoffs and them egregiously tanking. Keenar said, totally agree. That's why you tell them to call in the playoffs. I agree with you. But my point is that they don't care. The league does not care. They don't care about the quality of their product right now. They want to push out this slop because it's easy to push out this slop. Miami bringing it down the other way off the turnover from Paul George. Maybe not a turnover. He missed the shot and then couldn't grab the rebound. Here comes Tyler Hero. Coming to his right. Off the Mitchell screen. Up top to Mitchell. Mitchell catches. Pump fake. Kicks it out. Larson. Wide open left wing 3. Comes up short. Long rebound to Maxey. Maxey pushing it the other way. 57-54. We're under 2 minutes to go here. Maxey on the right wing. Coming to his left off the Embiid screen. Driving it down. In the lane. Leads in. Step back. Fall away. Mid-range jumper. Comes up short. Fight for the loose ball rebound. Knocks it over to Larson. Larson bringing it down the other way. Larson has it up top. Gets it over to Jaquez. Jaquez being guarded by Embiid, attacking to his left, leans in, kicks it out to Mitchell. Mitchell up top, kicks it back over to Jaquez, back over to Mitchell. Mitchell coming to his left, attacking, taking the baseline, goes under the rim with the Nash dribble, keeping it alive, swings it out to Jaquez. He'll settle for another 3, comes up short on that one, and the rebound over to Barlow. Jaquez has taken 3 3-point attempts tonight. That is not a recipe for success for Miami. Maxey has it up top, coming to his right off the Embiid screen. Coming to his right, Adebayo switches onto him. Maxey's going to dance with it one-on-one. Attacking to his right, gets under the rim, leans in. Good defense from Adebayo. Kicks it over to Paul George, left corner 3, can't get it to go. Rebound over to Adebayo. Danger is leaving Paul George wide open from 3 and not really contesting him. Larson down the lane against Embiid, gets the scoop layup to go with the right hand. Beautiful drive and finish for Pelle Larsson there. Pelle Larsson has an underrated driving and finishing game for sure. Paul George bringing it down the other way. We're under a minute to go here. George has it on the left wing, being guarded by Hero. Forcing him to his right, picks up his handle. Pass fake. Gets it over to Barlow in the paint. Spins. Lefty layup. Got it to go. Nice move against Bam Adebayo there. He's already got 2 fouls. Doesn't want to pick up a third here at the end of the second quarter. Part of the reason why he wasn't too aggressive on that contest by Barlow. Or from the shot by Barlow. Jaquez driving it down against Embiid on a switch. Leaves it off for Larson. Another floater layup off glass. Got it to go for Pelle Larsson. He's doing a good job finishing in the paint over the contest of Joel Embiid. 2 times in a row there. Here comes Maxey pushing it the other way. 10 points for Pelle Larsson. 5 for 9 from the field. All of them come from 2-point range. He's missed all his threes. Maxey has it up top, being guarded by Jaquez. They're going to wind down the clock as much as possible. 15 seconds to go. Maxey being guarded by Larson. Maxey coming to his right, spinning to his left, kicks it out to Edgecombe, ran off the 3-point line, gets into the mid-range, pump fake, puts up the jumper leaning in, and he draws the foul on Tyler Hero, and it's going to send Edgecombe to the foul line for 2 free throws with 5.7 remaining. Keenar said, yeah, the problem is that the NBA is now controlling the media that cover them. With independent media like Kornheiser and Wilbon, they're not independent media, brother. Or used to be, yes. They used to be. We'll be talking about how bad the flopping is in the tanking. Yeah, I mean, there are independent media covering the NBA. You know, it's me. I'm independent. I'm not controlled by anybody. It's other, obviously, much bigger content creators covering the NBA. And they have been very critical of the NBA. You know, and obviously with journalism and print really dying here in America, Hero fires a half-court heave at the end there after Edgecombe knocked down both of his free throws. 61-58 is our halftime score. Yeah, there's really nobody to kind of rise up and challenge these organizations for the most part. Bridgewater, or Bridget Waters, my bad, Bridget Waters. What's up, Bridget? You're very knowledgeable about the sport. Enjoy your show. Appreciate you, Bridget. Appreciate you. I just watch a lot of basketball and talk about it. That's all I do. Keenar said, ABA was great for basketball. Funny how competition makes everything better. What do you know? Actual capitalism, not this current monopoly nonsense, was actually good. Yeah. Yeah. When opponents weren't just immediately bought out when they started getting good. Yeah, competition is good. Right? Rivalry is good. Keenar said, yeah, YouTube is now the independent media. Yep. Yep. Pretty much. Pretty much. John Corley said, this wouldn't happen if Stern was still here. I think the difference between Adam Silver and David Stern is David Stern really had a pulse on the league, really commanded respect, and I think really, really loved basketball. And I think he was a basketball-first guy before ultimately entering the business side of the sport. And I think he always, for the most part, pushed the NBA forward as a basketball league, right? Always cared about the product on the court. Whereas Adam Silver is a business-first guy who has kind of grown up occasionally liking the sport of basketball. And you can tell simply by the way that he has reacted. He has been very reactionary to things in the NBA, not very proactive at all, right? Like I said, the tanking thing earlier has been around for 40 years since they first implemented the lottery system in the 80s. And tanking has been around since then. It's been around. And even before then, it's been around because obviously you would decide who got the first overall pick, kind of how like the NFL does it now, where the worst record gets the number 1 pick. You are the worst team in the league. You need the most help. You get the first record. Adam Silver, he's a really good businessman. He's negotiated really good business deals for the NBA. I think he's a really good right-hand man to a guy who needs to care about the sport. Making the business-first guy the head of your entertainment product has clearly hurt the entertainment aspect of your business, right? But, hey, man, they signed a really good TV deal, which brought in a lot of money to the league, right? That's where Adam Silver thrives. But that is not the thing that us fans care about. I don't care if the games are on TNT or NBC, right? I do care that majority of your games now are on Prime or Peacock, and I have to get new streaming services, and I have to pay all this extra money. And the TV rights deal kind of sucks, even with Silver, even though he's bringing in all this money. It sucks for the consumer. But, that's his job. His job, in his eyes, is to make this league as valuable as possible monetarily. Whereas David Stern saw is like, yeah, that's a big part of it. But the entertainment, the product of the league needs to come first. It needs to be there. And Silver has clearly let that slip recently with, implementing all these extra things in the regular season, like the in-season tournament, but not thinking how that's going to affect the actual product where teams now actually competing in the in-season tournament and going to Vegas had felt significant downsides post-tournament play. It's really affected the NBA because he didn't think about I can implement this and then people will come and then it'll bring in dollars because we get more TV rights and it's big national TV games and it's an event and we can sell it as an event. But he didn't think on the player side, how is it going to affect the players on the back end of it, right? And 3 years into it, it's still affecting the players on the back end of it. And Adam Silver has not I'm sure he's taken notice of it, but has not cared about it. Partly also because, to Keenan Hart's point earlier, media doesn't really talk about it. It's not a talking point right now. You know when it will be a talking point? When a star team for the fourth year in a row goes on a 5-10 slide 15 games after the in-season cup tournament, and they're like, all right, this is 4 years in a row. This is a pattern now, not a trend. This is a trend. Eric C said, be nice. You could easily look it up on your phone. We don't talk like that here. Figgy? What happened to Figgy? Move out of the way. How many rebounds did Bam have? You're on your phone, brother. You're on the internet. Figure it out, big dog. There you go, brother. Carter said, Embiid is going to get injured before the postseason. How much you want to bet? He could. He just came back from injury. But we are at our halftime rundown here. We're going to start going around the league, start looking at the box scores here around the league. But, of course, as always, our halftime rundown is presented by our guys over at Get Off My Lawn Records. Shout out to our guys over at Get Off My Lawn Records. You can check out their website, GetOffMyLawnRecords.com. You can check out their music, the Jazz Destroyers, over on their website, but also over on their YouTube channels. Both Get Off My Lawn Records and the Jazz Destroyers have separate YouTube channels. You can check out them there. And if you're musically inclined, go ahead and give them a listen. But also reach out to them. If, like I said, you are musically inclined and have any interest in making some music, reach out to them. They can definitely help you out, or at worst, point you in the right direction. So shout out to our guys. They've been very generous. You can sign up for their mailing list on their website to get notified whenever they themselves or any of their music artists drop music. They're working on stuff all the time. And they were also generous enough to give us a discount code to Bandcamp.com. Use promo code Sheffy to get 20% off at Bandcamp.com. Spacing out a little bit there. My bad. Eric C. Appreciate you, brother. Carson said, I'm a Spurs fan now. All right. Before we go to the box score in that game, in our game here tonight in our coverage, let's go around the league. Let's check out this Hawks-Celtics game, 42-41. That's going to be a close one. Good to see. Hopefully Atlanta can pull that one off against the Celtics, as the Knicks obviously battling for that 2 seed. But with 2 losses in a row like that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Celtics going to have to go in a slide. 76ers, Miami, 3-point game we're covering tonight, obviously. Eric said, this is the best community. Appreciate you, Eric. Appreciate you. Celtics, Hawks locked in a tight one. They are at the halfway point of their second quarter, approaching the halftime show. You got Suns, Grizzlies just tipping off here. They're halfway through their first quarter. You got Bulls, Spurs just tipping off. It's 5-2 early. Later tonight, we got the Timberwolves taking on the Mavs, the Cavs taking on the Jazz, the Pistons taking on the Thunder, a game we were supposed to cover later tonight, but with the Pistons dealing with as many injuries as they are, we're going to put that one on the back burner, and we're going to go ahead and cover other games later on this week. So no doubleheader tonight, unfortunately. And then to round out the night, the Lakers get a nice, easy night taking on the Washington Wizards, although every now and again, the Wizards surprise you. Every now and again. As far as tomorrow's schedule will go, we have the Knicks game at 8 o'clock. I thought about doing the late game against the Blazers and the Clippers. As much as I think this is probably going to end up being a good game, an 11 p.m. start time is just a little too late when I know I got to wake up early the next day for two teams in the play-in battling for play-in positioning. So no doubleheader tomorrow either, but of course we'll be live to cover our Knicks game. 8 o'clock tip-off time, so we'll be live at 7:30 for our pregame rundown. And then the rest of the week, obviously, we'll continue to talk about it. The Knicks have a back-to-back scheduled Wednesday to take on the Grizzlies. That should be an easier game for the Knicks, but the Grizzlies have been feisty as of late, so not too easy. The Knicks should still be able to pull it off. Bridget said, go Hawks. I'm rooting for the Hawks too, Bridget. Rooting for the Hawks too. Jason said, Wolves and Cavs would be solid. Wolves and Cavs would be solid. Should be. Thursday is when we'll do our doubleheader. We got Timberwolves, Pistons, 7 o'clock start time. Pistons should be healthy for that matchup. Hopefully Anthony Edwards is back for that matchup. And then we got the late night game, which will be the Lakers and the Thunder, 9:30 start time. Not too bad, not too late here on the East Coast as I drop my pointer. So we'll do the doubleheader on Thursday there, and we'll get it going. We'll get it going there. I owe you guys some games after missing Friday and Saturday's past weekend, obviously celebrating with the family. So I owe you guys some games this week to make up for it before ultimately we get to our usual as many games as we can cover during the weekend situation. Sunday, we got Raptors, Celtics at 3:30. Okay, it's a good one. That's a good one. We got Pacers, Cavs, no thanks. Hornets, Timberwolves, there you go. That's the other game we're going to cover. So it looks like 2 games on Sunday. Yeah, 2 games on Sunday. All right, so we got 2 games scheduled for Sunday already. And I assume the Knicks play Saturday then? No. All right, so we're still going to take Saturday off. Spurs Nuggets, though. Do we take Saturday off? We'll see. I'm probably working Saturday, so I can't do Spurs Nuggets, which starts at 3. But if not, we'll do that game. So we'll probably take Saturday off. We'll see. And then Friday, the Knicks play. Yeah, they play the Bulls. So that's when we will be around. We'll do 2 games on Thursday, game on Friday, 2 games on Sunday. And then we'll be pretty much fully caught up. Carson said, I'm going for Boston as much as I hate them. Going for Boston, Carson. Playing the Hawks today. I mean, as a Knicks fan, I gotta root for Celtics losses. Even if I wasn't a Knicks fan, it's hard for me to it's hard for me to think of anybody outside of Boston rooting for Boston. Eric C said, you got the best commentary here. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Dude, even went wild west with the dress code in the Battle of Texas. It was epic. We did indeed. Try to have some fun, man. We try to have some fun. I can't wait for the playoffs, man. The Frazier Blazer will make its return. We've gotten away from it a little bit during the regular season here just because it is, a lot to wear a jacket all stream long. But we did wear it for the holidays. We did wear it for a couple of holidays and a couple of big games. We wore it for the in-season Cup tournament games. So it will make its return come the playoffs. Get off my lawn records. What's up, get off my lawn? I went to college in Boston, and even I won't root for Boston. Susan said, Nets and Wizards are eliminated from the postseason. Yes, indeed they are. We talked about the Celtics a little bit earlier, the standings a little bit earlier in the show. So the Pacers, the Wizards, the Nets, the Bulls, and the Bucks. All right, so everybody here is making the at least the play-in. There is no possible way the Bucks or the Bulls can surpass the Hornets at this point in the season and actually make a play-in run. Eric C said, Frazier Blazer, the dude got barred. Nah, brother, that was conjured up from the community. The community gave the name to the jacket. I didn't come up with that. Y'all came up with that. Sunny Days, what's up, Sunny? I have placed a bet on Miami Heat. I'm rooting for you, Sunny. I'm rooting for you. YOLO, what's up, YOLO? Thurston said, Battle of Texas outfit was wicked. Wait till we get to the playoffs. Till we get a Battle of Texas playoff series, outfits are going crazy. We pulling it back out for every single one of those games. Every single one of them. I can't wait for the playoffs. We're going to try and cover as many playoff games as possible. Day and night. Day and night. All day. 9 hours straight, 3 games a day. We're going to try it. We're going to try and do as many as possible. As far as the Western Conference goes, they are also fully set. Every team that is outside of the top 10 will no longer make the play in here. It is impossible. The Grizzlies have officially been eliminated. The Golden State Warriors and the Trailblazers are guaranteed play-in spots here. They can get to the 6th seed. Clippers and the Phoenix Suns still trying to battle for that last spot. Imagine Houston actually fell into the play-in there. That'd be crazy. Minnesota tied with them in the record as well. LA jumping up to 3 is crazy to me. And like pretty solidly at 3. They're a full game ahead, but 2 and up in the loss columns of the Denver Nuggets. It's pretty crazy to me how the Lakers season has gone. To me, it shows you the brilliance of Luka Doncic. You put him on any team, no matter how terribly constructed it is around him, and he's going to figure it out. They're going to have a 50-win season with Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James. 3 really bad defenders this year. And DeAndre Ayton as their starter. Really bad, man. Really rough. Just that to still wonder about Bam coming to the Knicks. I don't see a scenario where Miami allows Bam Adebayo to go to the Knicks, big dog. Like Pat Riley losing his best player, his cornerstone player to the New York Knicks. Not happening, big dog. Ron O'Duffney, what's up, Ron? Thurston said, come on, don't jinx my Rockets like that. It's not looking good for the Houston Rockets, although it seems pretty likely they'll stay in the top 6, man. Seems pretty likely. Is Suns Gen in the chat? I can look this up, but if Suns Gen is still in the chat, let me know what's going on with Dillon Brooks. As we approach the end of the regular season here, is there some hope for Dillon Brooks' return? What's going on? I'll look it up real quick here. Just that said, Pat, just do one solid for us Knicks after all the Schenectady native. He is a Schenectady native. I thought you were trying to say chicanery. He is indeed. Both Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams played 5-on-5 today per Jordan Ott. One step closer. There he is. Suns Gen said holding pattern. I just read it right here from the Phoenix Suns. Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams played 5-on-5. So the cast is off. He's playing basketball. Hopefully he's ready for the playoff run. It seems like they'll get him back for the playoff run or the play-in run. Hopefully they get to the playoffs. That's fun. That's exciting because the Phoenix Suns, when fully healthy, really fun and really exciting this year, man. All right, here we go. We're going to start the second half here. Bruce Fowler said, the Knicks and Heat don't do business historically. Hatfields and McCoys. Yep, they do not do business, especially after the Pat Riley situation. Embiid has it up top, backing down Wiggins as we start the third quarter here. They try to lob it over to Barlow. Ball gets knocked out of the air. A bad pass from Embiid. Hit ahead to Adebayo, pushing it the other way. Spins off the defender down the lane, draws the foul on Maxey. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Just that said, I feel like the Twilight Zone every year around this time with the Knicks. You want the Knicks playing your best basketball at the end of the season. The Deuce McBride situation is making me nervous. You know, without McBride, it's going to be really rough for the Knicks. He's one of their 7 best players. And you need 7 guys to win a championship, man. You need all 7 guys playing their best in order to do so. Jersey said, well made, if the Rockets get knocked, I can always back your team. Appreciate you, Durston. We'll accept you with open arms, big dog. Jump on the bandwagon during the playoffs, man. Adebayo knocks down both of his free throws. It is a 1-point game early here in the third quarter. Maxey up top, coming to his right, picked up by Larson. Maxey dancing with it, coming to his right. Gets it over to Barlow in the right corner, back to Maxey. Maxey, step back right wing 3 for Maxey. In and out, can't get it to stay. Rebound over to Wiggins. Here comes Mitchell pushing the pace. Shovels it over to Hero. Wide open right wing 3 for Hero. Comes up short. Rebound to Barlow. 76ers will bring it down the other way. Miami still going extremely quickly, trying to push this pace as much as possible. Embiid gets it over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe with the pass fakes. Swings it back to Embiid. Now over to Maxey. Maxey on the right wing. 76ers hanging on the perimeter too much here, getting nothing downhill. They get over to Embiid, catches, pump fake, driving it down, steps back, loses the handle, picks it up, shot clock winding down. He's got to heave it, and it goes over the backboard. It's a shot clock violation. Ball going back to the Miami Heat here. Just that I wanted KD this offseason and got laughs. See how the Rockets season's going, big dog? It's not looking good. Anywhere Kevin Durant goes, the locker room falls apart. Davion Mitchell bringing it down. They get it over to Hero. Hero coming to his right off the Adebayo screen. Over to Adebayo. He's being guarded by Barlow. Swings it over to Mitchell. Coming to his right. Down the lane. Mitchell throws up the floater. Davion Mitchell gets the floater to go down. His first points of the night, I believe. Davion Mitchell? No, he's knocked down to 3. He's got 7. Maxey down the lane. Kicks out to Edgecombe. Edgecombe kicks it out to George. Now over to Embiid. Embiid being guarded by Davion Mitchell. They get over to Maxey. Maxey. Step back baseline jumper. Too strong, can't get it to go. Adebayo yet another rebound. Miami already holding on to this 1-point lead now if they're coming back here in the second half. Little 5-point deficit at halftime. Or 6-point deficit. Bam will now try the straightaway 3. Comes up short. Rebound to Barlow. Here comes Edgecombe. But Philly has been scoreless so far here in this third quarter. We're 2 minutes into it. Edgecombe driving it down on Hero. Now he's got him in the post, backing him down, spins off of him, fall away, mid-range jumper. Got it to go out of the post for VJ Edgecombe. That becomes a go-to shot for him as his career goes on. Boy, oh boy, is Edgecombe going to become incredibly difficult to guard. Hero, off the handoff, swings it over to Larson, swings it over to Wiggins. Wiggins, jab step, being guarded by Paul George, kicks it back up top to Larson, swings it over to Wiggins. Pump fake, swings through to his right, leans in, puts up the floater, got the floater to go down, and the foul, a fall-away floater. Can't tell you how many times in my basketball watching life I've seen a fall-away floater. Not a jump shot, not a fall-away jump shot, a fall-away floater. Thurston said, you can have KD, bro. Have him. Take him now. Everybody, every organization that ends up getting KD, they're like, oh my God, we got Kevin Durant. This is incredible. And then like halfway through the regular season, everybody's like, yo, can somebody come get KD off my team? He just does, as Tyler Hero misses his second free throw here tonight. A guy who is 93.7% from the foul line coming into tonight. He's missed 2. It's going to tank his free throw shooting. Hero knocks the ball away from George. George gets it over to Embiid in the post, being guarded by Jaquez. Embiid, jab step, puts up the mid-range jumper over him. Can't get it to go down. Rebound to Larson. Larson gets it over to Adebayo. Adebayo has it up top. Gets it over to Jaquez, driving it down on Embiid. Pulls it back out. Kicks it over to Hero in the corner, taking the baseline. Euros down the lane, leaves it off. Adebayo in the paint. Two-handed slam. Going up big, going up strong, going up confident, coming down with 2 points. And why is my score off? I didn't give Hero the free throw bucket that he got. He did miss the free throw. Now Adebayo gets the two-handed slam. Nice drop-off pass from Hero. And now Paul George has it up top looking for an answer. They kick it out to Maxey. Pump fakes back to George. A straightaway 3 for Paul George. Comes up short. And Philly has done a really poor job here to start the second half of settling for way too many jump shots. And a foul in Edgecombe trying to deny Jaquez the ball there out of the post. 8:30 to go. Bruce said Reggie Miller was doing color on Deuce's injury like Zapruder for him. Ever seen the gif of Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah. I just want my guy Deuce to be healthy, man. It's not looking good. Just that Shaq had a fall-away floater. Shaq didn't fall away much, though. He used the other way. Yeah, he had a lean-in floater. They call another off-ball foul on Edgecombe, who's getting real annoyed and frustrated with the officiating here tonight. That's his 3rd foul. What's up, Happy to see you, brother. CEO King said Golden State was the best fit for KD, wasn't it? I mean, everybody would have been a great fit in that Golden State system. They had a ready-made team, and all they did was add Kevin Durant. They replaced Harrison Barnes for Kevin Durant. That's all they did. Embiid blocks Jaquez. Larson sneaks in and picks up the loose ball, though. Embiid tried to save it to his teammate. Larson sneakily gets in there, picks it off, and then gets fouled trying to go up for the putback. Gets fouled by Barlow. So now Larson had the foul on for 2 free throws. They're already holding on to the 3-point lead here. Eric Z said, the Rockets wishing they still had Hakeem, the real dream, for sure. The first instance that it was a KD problem, CEO King, to your point, was the fact that he didn't really like mesh well with Steph Curry. Like, how do you not mesh well with Steph Curry? How do you mess that relationship up on the court? How do you mess up playing alongside Steph Curry and the Warriors? How do you mess that up? Larson splits the free throws, by the way. More missed free throws from Miami. They'd have, an 8-point lead, 7-point lead at least here if they would just knock down their free throws. They have capable free throw shooters. They kick it out to Embiid up top, straightaway three over Wiggins. In and out, can't get it to go down. And more perimeter settling here for the Philadelphia 76ers. Nothing getting downhill. Hawkes down the lane, breaks the defense down. They swing it around to an open Wiggins. Wiggins attack. Bam attacking. Edgecombe jumps his ball handling, knocks it loose. Maxey picks it up, gets fouled. He's going to the foul line for 2. 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. Suns Jen said, give me Dylan and JG any day. Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green any day. Yeah. At this point in Kevin Durant's career, with all of the extracurricular stuff you have to deal with Kevin Durant, Moody, all the, accusations of all that burner account stuff, chemistry in the locker room, lack of leadership kind of stuff from Kevin Durant. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Ian Parkins, what's up, Ian? I was hoping you'd be doing the Celtics game. I started listening to the Celtics Homer do and couldn't listen anymore. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, Ian Parkins. Appreciate you. I thought about doing that game, but the original plan was to do a doubleheader tonight, so I couldn't do the Celtics Hawks game. But we ended up axing the doubleheaded, Ian, because the Pistons are not playing anybody against the Thunder today, so it should be a slaughter of a game, unfortunately. And maybe it's not. Maybe it ended up being a good game, but I'm not looking forward to it. So we're only going to do this game here tonight, and it should have ended up being the Celtics-Hawks game because that looks like a very good game, but we are getting a very good game here tonight anyway. Hero gets tripped up. No foul is called, but the ball is still going to remain here with the 76ers. Nick Yak said, I think Miami is better than we think. More than Philly isn't as good. Miami's really good. They vacillate between being really good. They had like a 6 or 7 game winning streak against really good opponents and a really good stretch of their schedule. And then they had like 3 losses in a row that looked really ugly. Some nights they have it, some nights they don't. It's hard. They're hard. They are a hard team to predict for sure. Nice cut from Hawkes. Gets the drop-off pass because it's 2-handed slam. Embiid leaning in, looking for the foul call. Doesn't get it. Embiid laying on the floor. It's a 5-on-4 situation. They lob it down low to Adebayo. Shovels it over to Wiggins. Wiggins leans in. Gets the layup to go down. Nice finish from Andrew Wiggins in the paint there. And there is the 6-point lead for Miami, 71-65. 7 minutes to go here tonight. Paul George gets it over to Barlow. Barlow been very quiet so far here tonight, not doing a whole lot. They swing it over to George. George attacking down the lane, leaves it off of Barlow. Ball knocked out of the air. Barlow trying to save it. Hawkes able to pick up the loose ball. Now Hawkes hit ahead to Wiggins. Wiggins bringing it down the other way. Wiggins cross court to Hero. Right wing. Pump fake. Attacking. Down the lane. Kicks it out to Wiggins. Wiggins will put up the 3, and Wiggins will knock down the 3, and a timeout for the Philadelphia 76ers. And it is a 9-point lead for Miami. And a lot of the Philadelphia players getting very annoyed and frustrated with some of the officiating here tonight, especially Embiid and Edgecombe right now, arguing almost every instance up and down the court that they want to foul, or maybe that they didn't commit a foul. Just that said, Hawks only 5 turnovers, so they got that under control. Let's go around the league. Let's take a look at it. We got a timeout here. Eric C said, I keep staring at the 2 thinking it's not halftime yet. Oh, do I only have 2 up? I do. My bad. Third quarter. Thank you. Thank you. If you ever see anything wrong, let me know. I'll fix it on stream. Yours said 76ers depend on Joel too much. It's a good, pretty way of putting it. Joel Embiid can be inconsistent at this point in his career with all the injuries that he's had. Obviously, we know. It's been storied. We talk about it all the time. He can be inconsistent. He can settle for perimeter shots as the game goes on because he just loses his legs as the game goes on. He doesn't really get back on defense. He doesn't really want to push the pace too much. So if you push the pace on them, I think Miami could just end up being a really bad matchup for the 76ers, who generally, when Joel Embiid is out there, want to play slow. Nick Yak, what's up, Yak? Yeah, so this game's at halftime. We're tied at 54 here. Every other game's pretty close so far. Spurs and Bulls locked in a tight one so far. Knicks have a Bulls game coming up later, and they come back home, so see how they match up against the Spurs here tonight. I fully expect the Spurs to pull away at some point, right? Let's take a look at this box score. Celtics versus Atlanta. Garza is starting tonight, so no Nini Keita. Payne Pritchard with 13 points off the bench. Outside of that, not getting a ton. They're playing Charles Bassey and Amari Williams. So that's tough. They got Jordan Walsh in the starting lineup. Baylor Sharman in the starting lineup, so no Jason Tatum. All right, so the Celtics in a bunch of guys. Scoreboard, what's up, Scoreboard? Should I be calling our enemies? Hope all is well, brother. Absolutely, bro. We're good. We're good. All is well. Brown with only 6 points tonight as well, and it's a tied ball game, so... You know, not looking good for Atlanta. Just looking from the box scores. Obviously, I'm not watching the games, but all the guys that are out for the Celtics and Jaylen Brown only has 6 points on 2 for 9 shooting, and you are tied at halftime, not a great sign for the Atlanta Hawks here. As far as they go, they got pretty much their full healthy rotation of players available to them for the most part here. Corey Kispert not available. But Jalen Johnson, 10, 4, and 2, getting stifled a little bit. We know he's a triple-double threat every single night. Nickeil Alexander-Walker not playing too particularly well, not shooting it well, I should say. 8 points on 3 for 10 from the field. Dyson Daniels actually knocked down a 3 and is at 5 for 6 from the field. So, again, only looking at the box score, don't really know what's going on, but tied at 54, looking at the box scores here, not looking good for Atlanta. They're 7 for 19 from 3. And the Celtics are 7 for 17 from 3. Getting gamed on by Luka Garza, who's the leading scorer in the whole game with 13 points at halftime here is not great. Not great. Here we go. And there's a turnover for Philadelphia. I literally missed something happened on the inbound. Edgecombe was bringing it down. And it's just a turnover. Lose it out of bounds. Chirp said, I think there's more to Jimmy leaving than them choosing Harris over Jimmy. And that more being, in my opinion, Embiid demands touches than forces shots and flops. Maybe. Maybe. They call a foul in Edgecombe trying to battle over the Bam Adebayo screen. And Edgecombe, again, upset and frustrated at the foul call. I obviously don't watch every single Philadelphia game, but I've watched enough Philadelphia 76ers games to know that this is pretty out of character for VJ Edgecombe. And that is a moving screen on Bam Adebayo. He's got a gripe. He's got a gripe for sure. They call the foul on Edgecombe, and there is a technical. That's his 4th foul now, technical on Philly. Not sure who it's on. Probably Edgecombe. He's been arguing with the officials all night. Just that said PG minus 25, Bam plus 19. Just that said Hope Pistons versus OKC goes 7 overtimes. I don't think it will. To Chirp's point, it could have been. It could have been with the Embiid thing. I think as it's come out, it's been more about a Ben Simmons thing at the time than an Embiid thing. I think he had a pretty good relationship with Embiid. I think he liked Embiid. I think it was more about Ben Simmons at the time than anything else. It was that. It was the front office. It was a lack of leadership, a lack of communication going on in that organization at the time. So, yeah, I think Jimmy just kind of wanted out at that point. Connor said, I need VJ for 4 rebounds. Not looking good, to be honest. I mean, he remains in the game. He's got 0 rebounds, though, so yeah, not looking good. You're right about that. Bam knocks down both free throws and the technical free throw. So now it's a 12-point game. It ties the largest lead of the game for Miami here. Embiid has it in the high post. Pump fake, jab step, come to his right, 1 dribble, pull-up jumper, got it to go for Joel Embiid. Bruce said, has there been much talk about reseeding in the playoffs? Do you have any opinion? There hasn't been any talk about reseeding. As far as, like, the league goes, like, they're not talking about it. I think they feel pretty good about their playoff structure right now. Hero 1-1 against Embiid, by the way. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Philly. It's going to stay here with Miami. My opinion on it, I think the 1 through 16 is really fun and interesting. Logistically seems a little bit like a nightmare to deal with, as we are past the halfway point in this third quarter, by the way. 10-point lead for Miami. They try to sneak it into Pelle Larsson, and they call a foul on Maxey. And 76ers continue to be frustrated with the officiating. I think reseeding 1 through 16 is really fun and really interesting. I think it just kind of ultimately dissolves conference play, though. right? And I don't think the league wants to devolve conference play entirely. Because then what's the point of being seeded third in your conference or fourth in your conference, right? At that point, you're looking at the total NBA standings, all 30 teams, versus just looking at your conference standings. And they've already devalued divisional standings to then take the next step to devalue conference standings. I don't think the league has much of an appetite for that right now. I think it's fun and interesting in theory. I don't think it makes much of a difference in practice, though. Connor said 76ers need to step it up. Yeah, Miami kind of getting whatever they want right now. They are getting the benefit of the doubt in the whistles, though. Larson splits a free throw. He misses the second one. So again, more missed free throws for Miami. They'd have a 15-point lead if they just knock down their open free throws. Miami resorts to a zone here. Embiid has it at the high post. Kicks it back out to Maxey. Maxey up top gets it over to Oubre. Oubre gets it over to Grimes. Grimes the right corner three. Grimes a bucket from the corner. 78-70. Hero bringing it down. Against the zone, you need to knock down your open shots when you get them. Adebayo has it up top. Gets it over to Jaquez. Jaquez has been very quiet here tonight. Coming to his right, spins to his left, down the lane, leans in against Edgecombe. Can't get it to go, and gets tipped in by Larson, who comes flying in there. Edgecombe getting completely ran over by Jaquez. No foul called either way. No offensive, no defensive foul. Oubre gets it back up top to Maxey. Back to a 10-point game it goes. Back to Oubre, right wing three. Comes up well short, long rebound. Back to Oubre. Oubre down the lane, hop step in the paint, throws up the floater. Can't get it to go. Embiid can get the rebound, dives on the floor for it. Hero knocks it away. And now it's a 5-on-4, pushing it the other way. Wiggins settles for the left wing three. Can't get it to go. Adebayo, the offensive rebound. Leans in, puts up the floater. Can't get it to go, but gets tipped up and in by Jaquez. And another timeout for Philadelphia. Embiid taking way too long to get down the court. Not really hustling down there at all. We understand his injury history. We understand just coming back from injury, so maybe not the conditioning there entirely. But, man, you're just leaving your team to fight 5-on-4 that entire possession there. And they get 2 offensive rebounds and 3 opportunities ultimately to get the 2 points and the 12-point lead back. We got 4:36 to go here in this third quarter. Is this... No, that's the same update about Deuce McBride. I was about to say. Okay. Just interested. Wait, is that a new one? No, that's old. My bad. All right. Year said, Joel just watch the ball when it's time to rebound. That's something he doesn't want to do. I just think it's something he's not really capable of doing right now with his physical limitations. He's not healthy. He doesn't really explode the way he used to, doesn't move the way he used to. He's just, he was a dominant rebounder early in his career. He was a very good rebounder. Averaged double digits multiple years in a row. As a matter of fact, let's pull up Embiid's career stats. Right? Maybe I'm misremembering it. Get off my lawn record said, I remember when Pat Riley left the Knicks. It was a dark day in New York indeed. Look at his career stats real quick. What does the rebounding numbers always look like? Am I off base here? No. He was a dominant rebounder until last season. We're looking second year in the league, 11, 13.6. Where are we at? We're over here. 11, 13.6, 11.6, 10.6, 11.7, 10.2, 11. And then the injuries piled up. He hits 30 years old. And he's down to 8.2. He just doesn't jump the way he used to. He can't move the way he used to. He can't really battle for boards down there the way he used to. He has to use positioning and strength in order to snag rebounds at this point in his career. Doesn't really jump for them. He tries to box out and wait for the rebound to fall to him, which is not going to allow you to grab a ton of rebounds, right? Trying to rebound that way. You got to actively go to the ball, and he just can't really do that right now. I think it's a physical limitation more so than it is a want, because we've seen him want to rebound and him being a dominant rebounder. Are we back for that? We are back from halftime. In the Celtics-Hawks game, it's 59-58 there. Susan said they are saying that Deuce McBride is out for the rest of the year. Nobody's really saying that yet, Susan, but that is definitely a possibility for sure. For sure. All right, let's get back to our game coverage here. Still a close game between the Celtics and the Hawks. Yak said, I've seen McBride as a game-time decision. He's listed as questionable for tomorrow's game, Yak, but we've seen the Knicks list guys as questionable. I highly, highly, highly doubt he plays tomorrow. We'll see. He is listed as questionable, but as Barlow gets an offensive rebound and putback, finally, a rebounding battle went the way of the 76ers. I highly doubt he plays tomorrow. It's possible. He is listed as questionable. Who knows? What I'm more interested in is knowing the severity of the injury. You know? If he's out for the rest of the regular season because it's a major injury, man, you know, like he needs surgery again or whatever the case may be. As Jaime Jaquez knocks down his second three of the game, not a good three-point shooter. His fifth attempt, his fourth attempt. Okay, one of them was a long two. 2 for 4 from three-point range for Jaime Jaquez tonight. He's not a good three-point shooter at all. Shoots it in the 20s. Hero jumps the passing lane, gets a steal, but he doesn't save it. He ends up throwing it out of bounds. And I talked about in the pregame, Tyler Hero needing to be a good defender or even just an average defender and escape the realms of being a terrible defender. And I think he's played really solid off-ball defense here today. I think he's been active. I think he's been involved. Hero, the home run pass off the rebound. Larson pump fakes, gets ran into by Bona, and it's going to be 2 free throws for Pelle Larson as the Miami Heat already hold this 13-point lead over the 76ers here. K. Hazy said, I see the Heat winning this game. With the 13-point lead, Larson going to the foul line for 2. Definitely trending more towards Miami now as they're built up momentum and holding on to momentum right now. Bruce said, what's odd is the new Knick regime has been very cautious with protecting players. They have been. It's just, he was scrimmaging. He was playing 5-on-5. He was medically cleared to play. It just, he dove on the floor for a loose ball after he mishandled it and got hurt again. Yeah, sucks. They wanted to get him as many reps as possible before the start of the playoffs to get him in rhythm and get his chemistry built in back up with the unit, but, sucks. It's just an unfortunate situation. Larson knocks down both free throws this time after he split a pair. He's been splitting his pairs all night from the foul line. 3:30 to go here. Maxey gets it over to George. George tacking to his right against Jaquez. Stops. Foul line follow-away jumper. Can't get it to go. Battle for the loose ball rebound. And one out by Bam Adebayo against Oubre. Quick outlet to Hero. Hero shot out of a cannon. Pushing it the other way. Stops. Crossing over to his left in the lane. Kicks it out to Jaquez. Jaquez extra pass to Ware. Ware sets his feet and fires a corner 3. Too strong. Can't get it to go. Bam the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay here with Philly. It's going to stay here with Miami. Philly upset at the call. Nick Yak said they gave McBride SGA out of the gate. Didn't make sense. Yeah, that's a fair criticism. Maybe against the Thunder, not the game to bring him against. Part of the reason why Ian Begley was intimating before McBride's return that we could see him return against Chicago Bulls is usually you want to bring a player back coming off injury against a lesser opponent so that they don't have to play as hard or as intense of a game. And then putting him on SGA, to your point, that's the toughest perimeter matchup you could have in the NBA is against SGA. And McBride did a really good job, but Oubre does a good job. He was ran off the line, takes the lane, and knocks down the floater anyway. Ware has it up top. 2:30 to go here in this quarter. Hero coming to his left off the Ware screen. Being guarded by Bona on a switch here. Hero's going to step back, pump fake over to Jaquez. Jaquez pass fake, gets it over to Adebayo. He won't hesitate from 3. He'll miss it. Ware, battling for the rebound, gets knocked out of his hands by George and right to Maxey. Here comes Grimes. Grimes up top. Gets it over to Maxey. Maxey has it straight away. Pump fake, driving right past Jaquez there. Draws the foul. Flips up at the rim. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Ura said, without McBride, y'all might be done for. Y'all's bench has been terrible. The bench has not been great. I would push against terrible. It's not been great. It's not been good. I won't argue that. I'd push back against terrible. It definitely could be better. But they've gotten solid contributions from guys like Mo Diawara. Shamet also being hurts the bench. For sure, but, Robinson comes off the bench. He's been solid. But, yeah, without Deuce McBride, yeah, they're behind the 8 ball here, for sure. For sure. Judge that said it was last night, Caruso and Josh. I didn't see it. Josh sprayed Caruso last night, or was that the first game? No, it was last night. He sprayed Caruso in the face with water. Caruso started it. He started messing with Josh, so Josh hit him a little spray of water. Nick Jackson, I'm hoping it's just sore and not an injury. He said as he walked his way back towards the bench, as 76ers knocked down both their free throws, that he couldn't walk. So it doesn't look good. I'm hoping for the best. But right now, I have it in my mind that McBride is done for the season. And if he's not, if he's able to make a comeback, then I'll be happy. Fall away, foul line jumper for Wiggins doesn't go down. 1:45 to go here. Hit ahead, Paul George, right wing three. Big time shot for Paul George to pull it back to single digits here. Knocks it down to a 9-point game. 7-0 run for the 76ers over the last minute. Just knocking down some shots and a timeout for Miami. 1:30 to go. Yeah, I mean, that's best case scenario, Yak, but the way he went down and it looked like he was grabbing his groin, you know, all of those muscles are connected to some degree. Doesn't look good, man. I'm hoping it's like a strained groin muscle and it's not a big strain and it's a week and a half recovery period. And he can be ready for game one of the playoffs, but it's not looking good. Yer said, where's Norman Powell? Norman Powell is out with injury tonight. No Norman Powell. Kay said, I wonder if Grimes will work his way back to being a real starter. I guess he could, depending on the team. I don't think he will on a legit, competitive roster. He could on a bunch of teams on the up and coming, or I don't want to say tanking roster because most guys can start tanking rosters, but he plays a pretty important position. He's got a really important skill set, but the three-point shot just has not been consistent enough for Quentin Grimes. He's shooting 33% from three-point range, and if you want to be a starting two with limited creativity, you got to be able to knock down the three with consistency, man. And he's just not been a very good catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. Or he has not been a consistent catch-and-shoot three-point shooter this year for the 76ers. And coaches, I tell you right now, the thing they value most is consistency. Even if you're not providing a ton, as long as I know what you're giving me on a night-to-night basis, I will favor you over the guy who is very sporadic. Maxey blocks his Hawkes down the lane, and here we go. Philly building momentum, going to the fourth. Scoop laid for Maxey, got it to go. Maxey getting hot here, attacking the basket. It's a 6-point game just like that. Hawkes bringing it down against Barlow. Hawkes gets it over to Mitchell. Davion Mitchell gets it back to Hawkes on the left wing. Hawkes has been very quiet tonight, normally attacking the paint with ferocity. Tonight, settling for jump shots. Mitchell down the lane. And it is an offensive foul on Davion Mitchell. Yer said Grimes is not a starter, never will be. He can get buckets, though. I mean, it looked like he was going to build his path towards being a starter back when he was with the Knicks, before ultimately being traded and bouncing around the league a little bit. He had a really good end to the season last year for the 76ers, part of the reason why he's on the team this year. And he showed a lot of promise, but yeah. His inconsistencies is part of the reason why I think he's best coming off the bench. Yak said, bench was good before we fixed it with Alvarado. That's been awful. Yeah, the Alvarado thing has not been great. I will argue he played pretty good against the Thunder the other night, so maybe a sign of good things to come, but yeah, he's not been good more often than not since being traded to the Knicks. Bruce said he landed exactly how you would not want to fall with that type of injury. I'm sure Detroit medical staff has taken notice. Very true. Yeah, I mean, diving for a loose ball, coming off an injury. I know his competitive juices are flowing and he's just playing, he's just reacting. It's not like he actively made that decision, but not the smartest thing to do in the moment, right? Man said, Embiid or Towns, who do you have right now today? I'll take Towns. Embiid, just too many injuries, man. Too many injuries. Greg Williams, what's up, Greg? So we got an official review here because the guy was hit in the face. I think they're reviewing this to see if it meets the criteria of a flagrant. We got to stop calling flagrants just because guys get hit in the face, man. It's a contact sport. Inadvertent contact to the face is going to happen. As long as it's not egregious or there's a follow-through, it's not a flagrant. Nick Yax and McBride don't play. He won't be ready in the playoffs in his first game. I mean, I'm not too worried about a first-round matchup for the Knicks anyway, but, so he can come back and work his way back into form during the playoff run. But, yeah, the whole goal when he got the surgery was like, okay, he'll be able to, the time frame is that he'll be able to make his way back with a handful of games remaining in the regular season, build chemistry, shake the rust off, and then start the playoffs fresh and ready to go. And then getting re-injured literally in his first game back, couple of minutes in, is kind of disastrous for the Knicks because they've already spent 2 months without him. Now they're going to spend the next 2 months possibly without him. Student said, I think that Jose Alvarado will step up in the postseason. He needs to. He needs to because it's been a very lackluster performance so far here with the Knicks. Student said, if Deuce McBride doesn't play in the first round, he can be ready for the second round. It depends on the injury, man. Depends on the injury. You said y'all rush McBride back. I just can't get on board with that when he was medically cleared. It was 2 months, and he was scrimmaging with the Knicks in the background. I don't think just because a guy gets re-injured that it automatically means that he was rushed back, right? People have been arguing Jason Tatum who was rushed back from an Achilles injury, and he seems fine, right? It's just an unfortunate situation. The Knicks have an award-winning medical staff, right? So I don't think they rushed him back. I think it's an unfortunate situation where he gets re-injured diving for a loose ball on a play. It is a flagrant one foul. The NBA has to get rid of this, man. That is absolutely ridiculous. There's no way. Davion Mitchell's driving to the rim. He tries to do like this swipe when you drive to the rim. He has the ball in his left hand. Quentin Grimes is in front of him. Quentin Grimes has his hands out, defending him, kind of hand-checking him a little bit. So Davion Mitchell does what any basketball player is taught to do. He swipes with his offhand to get the ball, to get the offhand off of him so he can drive to the basket with his left, with the ball in his left. And in coming down with the offhand, inadvertently makes contact with Quentin Grimes' face. Quentin Grimes misses a free throw. Ball don't lie, brother. He misses the flagrant foul free throw. It is not a flagrant foul to inadvertently make contact with a guy's face. That's basketball. It's a contact sport. Guys are going to make contact with your face. It happens. We have to get rid of this. Karl-Anthony Towns got hit with one last night. It is ridiculous. Yer said the Thunder, though. That's a great point, Yer. That's a great point. Maybe not the game to bring him back was against the Thunder. And then to put him on SGA. Maybe not the game to do that, too. You're absolutely right about that. I agree with that. Student said, sometimes Coach Brown makes questionable decisions, period. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And it's not been looking great lately. Grimes does at least knock down the second free throw. It's a 5-point game. They get it over to Oubre. Oubre down low. Throws down a two-handed slam as the Miami Heat just lost him along the baseline. And it's a one-possession game going into the fourth quarter here. We got 40 seconds to go. It's a 3-point game, 87-84. Jaquez up top being guarded by Oubre, hands it off to Hero. Hero's going to dance with it against Oubre on the switch, driving to his left, to the basket, steps through, lefty layup, got it to go high off glass for Tyler Hero there against Kelly Oubre. Nice finish at the rim. For Tyler Hero is up to 16 points here tonight. Maxey has it up top. Largest lead of the game was 15. Philly did a great job of cutting it down to 5 going into the fourth quarter here. Grimes, see if they can cut into it even more. Back out to Maxey. He'll put up the 3 off the catch, and Maxey will splash it down. It's a 2-point game. Here comes Hero pushing it the other way. Hero up top. They will have the final shot of the quarter here. They show a double team. Hero gets tripped up and a foul on Bona. And Maxey and the 76ers incredulous at the call right now. Can't believe that Hero gets bailed out with that call, and I tend to agree it is a little bit of a bailout. Man said, Jordan Clarkson pretty good, just need more minutes. I don't think he needs more minutes. I think he's playing the right amount of minutes, if not, maybe even slightly less more minutes. Yak said he has to play to trust his injury. He needs to play some games as soon as possible. Yes, but after getting re-injured, it's probably more important to make sure he's closer to 100% healthy as possible, more so than prioritizing him actually playing basketball games right now. Bruce Fowler said, not true, the New York Knicks last year was voted by all training staff to be the best. Yep. By far, not by far, but they have an award-winning medical staff in the NBA. If there's anything that Leon Rose and the front office don't get enough credit for, is spending a ton of money in areas that the Knicks weren't previously spending a ton of money. Hero knocks down both free throws. Grimes is going to fire at the buzzer. Comes up well short, and that's going to be the end of our third quarter right there, 91-87. 76ers did a great job battling back. It's a 4-point game. We got a fourth quarter, 12 minutes on the clock. 4-point game, made the best team win. If there's anything James Dolan doesn't get enough credit for, James Dolan and Leon Rose don't get enough credit for, is that Leon Rose has gone out and poached the best from these other areas that you don't have a salary cap for assistant coaches. You don't have a salary cap for your scouting teams. You don't have a salary cap for your medical staff. And so what Leon Rose has done is he's gone around and he's poached literally the best of these guys. He stole Walt Perrin from the Jazz. He stole, what's his name? It's like David something. They stole him, their capologist, one of the best capologists in the NBA, away from the Cavaliers when he was hired. Leon Rose did a great job of going around. He stole 3 or 4 of the youngest scouts with the Oklahoma City Thunder away from them and brought them over to the Knicks, and that's how you get guys like Emmanuel Quickley. That's how you get guys like Mo Diawara, like Deuce McBride in the draft, right? Walt Perrin. I think his name is, it's not Xenon. I forget his name. It begins with a Z, I believe. They poached him away from the Oklahoma City Thunder's scouting team. So what they did is they just went around and they were like, oh, what are you getting paid? We'll give you more money. Come work for the New York Knicks. We're going to pair you with a selective elite group of guys, right? That's our goal right now. And they did a great job of that. And that's part of the reason of how they were able to turn what at one point was a laughingstock of the NBA of a franchise in the way they were being run to being legitimately a top 5 run NBA franchise in the NBA right now. Bruce said they won an award, put Mitch on every other day, didn't rush Josh's, who's always hurt. They have to manage all his floor burns. Very true. Braydar said, I'm sad you're not covering the Thunder Pistons game because it's on Peacock, but I get it. I was going to cover it until I looked at the injury report and saw that the Pistons weren't playing anybody, unfortunately. I've been covering the Thunder Pistons game because it's on Peacock. Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but we'll get to some Thunder games. We'll get to some Pistons games. We will indeed. 2 teams I do enjoy watching. BMR boy, what's up, BMR? Why would Tatum play against the Hornets and not the Hawks? Because the Hornets are a bigger threat than the Hawks are. That is why. Greg Williams said Nick should have gotten Andrew Wiggins early in his career. He was in Minnesota, and we chose Cat. I think we chose correctly, Greg. I think we chose correctly. The guy who's a perennial All-NBA All-Star, or the other guy who's made 1 All-Star team. And that was because he was voted in, not because he won it by merit. Atlanta leading Boston now. It's about time with how many guys Boston is missing tonight. Boston's sitting out tonight. Atlanta taking it to them right now. BMR said the Hornets defense is trash. They have a top 5 defense going back to the last 40 games, brother. Celtics just torched them that game. But they don't have a trash defense at all. Greg said, wait, I think we had Hardaway Jr. didn't need Wiggins. Well, I'm fine with where the Knicks ended up with neither of those guys. And they call an offensive foul on Andrew Wiggins colliding with Kelly Oubre to start the fourth quarter here. Call the offensive foul, ball back to the 76ers here. On the handoff situation, yeah, runs right into Oubre. Student said Melo Ball is injured with a right ankle injury. Oh, man, that sucks. Hopefully he doesn't sideline him for too long. Here comes Tyrese Maxey bringing it down the other way. Maxey coming to his left, a pull-up three from Maxey. In and out, can't get it to stay. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Mitchell able to pick up the loose ball. They get it over to Hero. Hero back to Mitchell. Mitchell down the lane in the paint. Throws up the floater. Got it to go. Nice, calm, cool, and collected move for Davion Mitchell there. Waited for somebody to approach him. They didn't. He killed him with the floater. Oubre gets it over to Maxey. Maxey coming to his right. Pulls it back out. Being guarded by Jaquez. They get it over to Oubre. Now back to Maxey. Maxey attacking the lane. They kick it in the corner. Wide open three for Paul George. Paul George can't get it to go down. Loose ball rebound for Quentin Grimes on the weak side. They swing it up top to Oubre. Oubre gets it over to Maxey. Maxey wants to get it to George. They do. He's being guarded by Davion Mitchell in the post. He faces up, puts up the mid-range jumper right over him, and he gets it to go down. Eric said, game got close. I turned away for a second. Yeah, a quick run for the 76ers there, and Adem Bona swats Tyler Hero at the rim there. Maxey and the 76ers pushing the other way. He has it up top, attacking to his right against Mitchell. Down the lane, scoop layup, can't get it to go, but a late foul is called. It's going to send Maxey to the foul line for 2 free throws. Maxey was upset at the late foul call. Hit the floor pretty hard. He's holding his hand as he just sits on the floor for a bit. Seems all right. Just took a hard hit as he fell to the ground there. BMR said Kata fell on Melo's ankle and it was terribly officiated game. I didn't get to watch that game, so I'm just going to have to take your word for it, brother. Student said Hardaway has been on every team in the NBA. And the Knicks twice. Was on the Knicks twice. Maxey at the foul line for 2. Knocks down the first one. He's got one more coming. Man said, where's Embiid? Probably going to save him for, I would assume, the final 6 or 7 minutes of the quarter. So we can close this one out. Or help close this one out. Maxey with 20 points and 6 assists so far here tonight. They kick it out. Davion Mitchell, left wing 3. Miami quickly trying to push it the other way. Battle for the loose ball. Gets wedged in the rim. And so it's going to be a jump ball. Just that, reminding people to like button. Appreciate you, Just that. If you guys are enjoying the show so far, please go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, and like the stream. I'd very much appreciate it, y'all. It is by far the best thing you can do to help support the channel, man. Best thing you can do. Miami wins the tip. Jaquez tries to shovel it out to somebody, shovels it out to nobody. Hero able to save it, though. They get it back to Jaquez. They get it back to Hero. Hero up top, being guarded by Oubre. Pass fake, coming to his right, mid-range pull-up jumper. Hero got it to go. I think he's been excellent pretty much all night. Both offensively and defensively, I think he's been really solid tonight for the Miami Heat. He's 8 for 18 from the floor for 20 points. Paul George up top, attacking to his right, down the lane, bump Euro, down low, inside the Bona, lefty layup, can't get it to go. Good defense from Adebayo, and he cleans it up with a rebound. Here comes Bam, pushing it the other way. Gets it over to Jaquez. Jaquez hesitates from 3. Not much of a three-point shooter. Ball knocked out of his hands by George. Jaquez picks up his handle. Now gets it over to Hero. Hero up top wants to run the pick and roll with Adebayo. Coming to his left off the screen. Picks up his handle, cross-court pass to Mitchell. He'll line up a 3 off the catch. He'll come up well short. Jaquez with the loose ball rebound. Shovels it out to Adebayo. Gets it over to Hero. Catches. Over to Mitchell. Over to Jaquez. Jaquez will line up his 5th 3 of the night. He'll come up short on it. Long rebound over to Paul George. And why Jaquez is settling for so many 3s here tonight, I will never understand. Here comes Paul George bringing it down. Hands it off to Maxey. Maxey on the right wing. Being guarded by Wiggins. 9:19 to go. Time winding down here. A 3 for Quentin Grimes. Comes up short. Rebound to Jaquez. Miami quickly pushing the other way. You know, Miami wants to play with a fast pace here. Jaquez up top. Philly does a good job getting back on defense. He picks up his handle, gets it over to Tyler Hero. Almost stolen by Paul George. Hero able to recover it, being guarded by Oubre, though. Hero's going to dance with it. Hero crosses over, step back, hesitates, driving to his left, down the lane. Wild to play up, all glass. Got it to go with the left hand. What a finish for Tyler Hero on that play. Back-to-back buckets for Tyler Hero gives the Miami Heat a 6-point lead. Grimes gets it over to Oubre, and he gets it over to Maxey. Maxey back to Oubre, back to Grimes. Miami looks like they're in a 3-2 zone here. Or is it a man-to-man zone situation? No, it's a 3-2 zone. They swing it over to Oubre. Oubre, a left wing three over Jaquez. Got it to go, and a big-time shot for Kelly Oubre. They needed somebody to knock down a shot outside of Maxey. 97-94. Here comes Mitchell pushing it the other way. Gets it over to Adebayo. Jab step down the lane in the paint. Scoop with the right hand. Can't get it to go. Good defense from a Dembona there. Here comes Maxey pushing the other way. Maxey up top. A deep pull-up three for Maxey. Way off on that one. A terrible shot. It was a 5-on-4 situation. Why Maxey decided to settle for a 30-foot pull-up shot with the defense right in his face, I'll never know. And instead, Miami gets a run out the other way, and Jaquez gets a layup. Bad decision for Maxey there. Paul George gets it over to Maxey. Maxey gets it over to George. 5-point lead for Miami here. They get over to Oubre. Mid-range pull-up jumper. In and out, and it rolls out halfway down for Kelly Oubre, but a toilet bowl's out at the end there. And here comes Tyler Hero and the Heat pushing it the other way. 7:30 to go in this fourth quarter. We should be seeing Joel Embiid in another minute or two. They get it over to Mitchell, driving it down in the lane. Pump fake. Kicks it up top. Bam, Adebayo. Wide open three. In and out. Can't get it to stay. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Knocked out of bounds. They're going to give it back to Philly. We got 7:24 to go. BMR said it's part of the game, but Melo has the worst whistle in the league, especially for a sixth-year player. Melo doesn't have a great whistle. I agree with you, BMR, but there are players who with far worse whistles than LaMelo Ball. Thurston said, thank you for the reminder. I always forget the like button. Appreciate you, Thurston. Appreciate you, brother. They changed the way it appears on the website, so I don't like the change, but find that thumbs up button and hit it for me. I'd appreciate it. Appreciate it for the community. Drizzy, that said Yanks in Seattle. We get a timeout. 7:24 to go. It might be a challenge. They did not specify when they went to commercial break here. They just kind of went to a commercial break without really saying anything about it. Let's tune in on our Celtics Hawks coverage here. And the Hawks are now blowing them out. 14-point lead. Not a huge lead, but a 14-point lead nonetheless. They're at the end of their third quarter. They're going into the fourth. Celtics missing a bunch of guys. I fully expect the Hawks to be able to pull this one off. They should. They should. Suns playing the Grizzlies here. That's a pretty close game here at halftime, 65-61. Let's take a look at the Grizzlies. The Knicks will be playing the Grizzlies in a couple of games. They have the Rockets tomorrow, and then they have the Grizzlies right after on Wednesday. Back-to-back situation. So if we take a look at who they're playing here, Taylor Hendricks is playing well. Jemai Mashak, never heard of you. He's got, I thought he had 17 points. He's got 9 points. Okay, shout out Jemai. Cam Spencer with 10, Gigi Jackson with 8, Cedric Howard with 5. Off the bench, DeJon Jarreau, who I've seen his name pop up a couple of times here, is playing well. He's the rookie. He's a rookie, 6'5", out of Houston. Okay. As a matter of fact, his face looks familiar. So I've seen him play for Houston, but I'm not familiar with his name or his game. 6'5", kind of a guard wing kind of player, okay. We will get a close-up look when the Knicks play him. Tyler Burton, we saw the other night go off and pull the Grizzlies to a victory. Adama Ball, Walter Clayton Jr. is on this team. Yes, we know that. I mean, they're playing hard. They're playing feisty. As long as you come in and looking to take care of your business, you should not have much of an issue against the Memphis Grizzlies, although the Phoenix Suns having a bit of an issue. Devin Booker with 23 first-half points, but only a 4-point lead. BMR said, yeah, I know they're working on getting him out at least. He got paid, though. Any other Deuce McBride news? I've been updating. I've been keeping an eye on it. I see people celebrating. I'm on Twitter trying to see what the beat reporters are reporting. They're reporting that Deuce McBride is questioned for tomorrow's game, and I see people celebrating like, oh, okay, Deuce is okay, he's fine. But I still don't trust it. I've seen players be listed as questionable, and then it comes out another week later where they're like, actually, he's done for a while. All right, here we go. 5-point lead, 7:24 to go. Philadelphia will bring the ball down. Edgecombe on the right wing, back up top to Maxey. They get over to Grimes, back to Maxey, back to Edgecombe. They get it into Embiid, who's back in the game. He's being guarded by Larson. They are in this zone. They bring double, fall-away jumper over Larson. Got it to go for Joel Embiid. Slowly working his way to his spot, knocking down the mid-range shot. It was a great contest from Larson, but he's just too small to fully contest it. Hero has it up top, being guarded by Grimes. These teams have been going back and forth, but Miami holding on to this slight lead here. Hero down the lane, kicks it out. Extra pass over to Larson, extra pass over to Mitchell, extra pass over to Jaquez. Jaquez eventually shoots the three and comes up short. Jaquez, his 6th three-point attempt. I don't know why Jaime Jaquez, who's not a good three-point shooter, has been settling for so many threes here tonight. They get over to Grimes. Grimes takes the baseline, one-handed slam for Quentin Grimes as he cuts it to a one-point game. Miami does not get back off the missed shot to set up their zone quick enough. Here comes Mitchell bringing it down the other way. Mitchell has it up top, being guarded by Edgecombe. Davion Mitchell crosses over to his right, swings it over to Adebayo. Adebayo stops, pump fake, leans in, draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. And that's a rough flopping one for Bam Adebayo there, drawing the foul. Hit the pump fake, leaned in, and then fell back. Bruce said, think positively, Sheffy. I'm mentally preparing myself, Bruce, for no Deuce McBride the rest of the season. So hopefully he will be back, and then I'll be able to be happy and celebrate it. But I'm mentally prepared for it, so I can't be disappointed. I can't be disappointed if Deuce McBride somehow has, a more severe injury than what they're letting on to right now, listing him as questionable. Adebayo knocks down the first free throw. He's got another one coming. I'm playing mind games with myself. That's what I'm doing. Adebayo knocks down both free throws. Here comes Maxey. They get over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe up top to Maxey. Over to Grimes. Grimes over to Embiid. Embiid, the fall-away pull-up jumper. Got it to go. End the foul. Got 2 hands on him by Larson. Quickly rose and shot it. Smart play by Joel Embiid. He's going to send him to the foul line for one more, and he can tie the game up at 101 here. B and Mars said the Hawks are beating the Celtics. Yes, they are. Beat them pretty bad, right? 77-95. Yeah, 18-point lead with 10:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Could be an early night for the Boston Celtics. I think we chose the right game. Embiid knocks down his free throw. And we're going to get a timeout from the Miami Heat. And we are halfway through this fourth quarter, 6 minutes to go. Keith said Coach Brown has over 500 winning games under his belt. He was hired because of his winning ways. He has the ability to take Brunson to the final. Hopefully, Tom Thibodeau has a ton of wins. He's one of the highest winning percentages in NBA history. He's one of the higher winning percentages of any active NBA coach. And then expired him because he was not getting the job done. So anything you've done in the past does not necessarily equate to what you are doing this season. Right? I see Tom Thibodeau and Mike Brown on the same level as coaches. I think they're the same level of coach. They do it in different ways, and maybe one coach's play style benefits one team over another, which is why they decided to make the swap from Tom Thibodeau to Mike Brown. But also, by the way, Mike Brown was like their 3rd or 4th option, you know? So I'm not terribly impressed so far with Mike Brown in his year 1 here with the Knicks. I think he's done an okay job, but not a good enough job. Yeah, 18-point game for the Hawks over the Celtics here. Celtics look like they're going to take a loss. Knicks will still be 2 back in the loss column. Knicks in with 27 losses. Right? Yeah. Seeming unlikely that the Knicks will be able to catch the Celtics, but you never know. You never know. Just that said, Hurley's still not answering. I think if they offered Hurley the job, he would have taken it. I don't think they want Hurley. I think every NBA organization right now sees Hurley as a maniac who needs to calm down a little bit before he makes the jump to the NBA. Because his antics in college are not going to fly in the NBA. He will get fined. He will get kicked out of games. He will get roasted alive in the media coverage. He's got to calm down, right? He's got to age a little bit. He's got to calm down. He's got to recognize how ridiculous he acts on the sidelines, and just dial it back a notch or two before he makes the jump to the NBA. The Knicks were not calling Hurley. Even though Hurley seems to be an incredible coach, an incredible basketball mind, but it's not just the X's and O's when it comes to the NBA. It's about managing personalities. It's about being a leader of men. And the way Hurley acts, I think there is a huge, how do I want to phrase this? I don't even know. There's some trepidation with bringing Hurley up to the NBA. I think teams would love to have his basketball mind, but they want him to leave his antics at home. And knowing that you're hiring Hurley knows that you're also getting the antics. You're getting the great coach, but you're also getting the antics. Greg said, please tell me Jason Tatum played tonight. No Jason Tatum tonight, Greg Williams. No Jason Tatum tonight. Judge that said Hurley is going to be great, and I'm ready for it. Hopefully, when he does make the jump to the NBA, it's with the New York Knicks, and it works out. Mitchell bringing it down against Edgecombe. Gets it over to Larson. Larson gets it over to Hero. Hero has it up top, being guarded by Grimes. Coming to his right, driving it down in the lane, puts up the floater. Can't get it to go. Good defense from the 76ers. Grimes and Edgecombe converge there in the contest on the Hero floater. Maxey gets it over to Embiid, walks into a straightaway three and pump fakes out of it. It's being guarded by Adebayo. Gets it over to Maxey. Maxey coming to his left off the Embiid screen. A deep pull-up three for Maxey. Man, oh, we got it to go. He loves these deep pull-up threes, man. He loves them. Got it to go, though. When you knock him down at the rate he knocks him down, I get why he's taking him. Hero coming to right off the Bam screen. Pump fakes, gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Loose ball, Bam picks it up. Down the lane, puts up the floater, comes up short. Loose ball, Bam recovers it, kicks it out. Mitchell with three, looking for an answer. He comes up short. Rebound to Kelly Oubre, and suddenly, Andrew Wiggins steals the ball from Oubre. He was not paying attention. Out the Hero for a three. He can't get it to go, and suddenly Miami going ice cold from three-point range here in the second half, and particularly here in the fourth quarter. Maxey has it up top, spins off of Mitchell, driving it down to his right in the lane. Wild scoop layup with the left hand, can't get it to go. Looking for the foul call, doesn't get it. He hit the floor, so now it's a 4-on-5 situation. Maxey hustling to get back into it. Hero on the right wing, they kick it over to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to look to attack and beat off the bounce. Should probably just taking the three. They hand it off to Hero. Hero, pump fakes, gets it over to Davion Mitchell. Now he'll line up a left wing three. He'll shoot it too strong. Fight for the loose ball rebound. In the air, Maxey takes it away from Wiggins. Maxey pushing the other way. 1-on-2, down the lane. Scoop layup, can't get it to go. Fight for the loose ball. Edgecombe can't get the putback. Wild sequence as Miami pulls it away. Adebayo leaves it off for Hero. Catches, pump fake down the lane. No look pass. Hero throws it out of bounds instead of making the simple pass over to Wiggins. Tried to throw the no look pass, looking at Wiggins, then looking to hit Mitchell in the corner, but the pass is just too off deep in the corner and it goes out of bounds. Maxey has it up top, and they get it over to Grimes. Grimes over to Maxey. Maxey, another deep pulled-up straightaway three. Got it to go. And they wave it off, and they call the offensive foul on Joel Embiid, setting a screen or standing in front of Maxey, trying to set the screen or just impede the way of the defensive player. And Philly's going to use their challenge here. So the call is an offensive foul. Philly's going to use their challenge. Just that Tatum will probably sit a game or two in the playoff series. I highly doubt that, Just Dead. Highly doubt that. There are no backs-to-backs in the playoffs. They're sitting him now to make sure that he is rested and fully prepared and ready to go. He will not miss a game in the playoffs, man. He will play every single playoff game, brother. Bruce Fowler said, wind me up, Chevy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, said, I think he felt it hurt, and he felt it and it hurt, but it's just soreness and not any damage. I hope so, Yak. I hope so. You know, initially it looked like he was grabbing towards his groin area, and obviously those muscles are all connected to some degree, and it just made me nervous because once you pull a groin, man, that's a really difficult recovery path, and it takes a while. So I hope it's just soreness, and that's all it is. But I'm not, like I said, I'm tricking my own mind into thinking that, in my mind, Deuce McBride is done. There is no more Deuce McBride. And if he's able to return, I'll be the happiest person on the planet, right? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Unsuccessful challenge. It is an offensive foul on Joel Embiid, holding Pelle Larsson back. Pelle Larsson tried to close out on the Maxey three there. So that waves off the three. It ends up being a foul on Embiid, who's only his third foul, so not a big deal. But it waves off the three, and it gives the ball back to Miami here. They could have taken a 6-point lead with 4 minutes to go, and instead, Miami gets the ball back in a 3-point deficit. Jaquez has it up top. Hands it over to Larsson. Under 4 to go. Larsson being guarded by Maxey. Pass fake, driving to his right, leans in, gets caught in the air, over to Hero. Pass fake, he's driving it down, pickpocketed by VJ Edgecombe, hit ahead to Oubre. Oubre's going to pull it back out. Good transition defense from Miami to get back. And instead, Philly is forced to reset. They get it over to Embiid, being guarded by Hero in a mismatch, obviously. Embiid gets stripped by Hero. Great hands from Tyler Hero. Wiggins out and running to the basket. Can't get the scoop layup. And it's a goaltend on Joel Embiid, who really hustled down the court to get that chase down block. But he goes down hard. Hits the floor hard. Nick said, this is a start to catching Boston with one ahead to April in the 9th. Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to lose at least one more game for the Knicks to have an opportunity, and the Knicks going to have to run the gambit for the remainder of the season to stay with them. Philip the script. What's up, Philip? Embiid killing bets. Emerald Dublin. What's up, Emerald? Waiting for the Pistons and Thunder's matchup. I will not be covering it, and the Pistons are not playing anybody in that matchup. So I don't know how good of a matchup it'll be. Hopefully it's a good game, but we are going to end it with our coverage of this game here tonight. Embiid knocks down the left wing three, makes up for the egregious play previously. Wiggins knocked down both free throws, by the way. Pelle Larsson, the three, has been off all night. Bam Adebayo dropped in from the rafters for a two-handed putback slam, and it's a 2-point game with 3 minutes to go here. 107 to 105. Maxey bringing it down the other way. Gets it over to Embiid, back to Maxey. Maxey gets it over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe back to Maxey. Maxey and the 76ers all standing out on the perimeter. They don't know how they want to attack this zone. They get it over to Embiid, and they're saying Embiid, go into the post and attack. Embiid. High post, leans in, step back, long fall away two, comes up short, battle for the loose ball, rebound, knocked into the air. Larsson picks up the loose ball. It's a 3-on-2 fast break, out the Hero, wide open transition, three, and then 3-point bucket for Tyler Hero. 2:30 to go, Miami retakes the 1-point lead. Maxey gets it over to Edgecombe. Over to Grimes, over to Maxey up top, and a lot of standing around for Philly here. Maxey off the Embiid screen, a pull-up three, comes up short, long rebound. Jaquez picks it up, and we're pushing it down the other way. Jaquez kicks it out to Hero. Hero lined up another three in transition. Hero again, lining it up from three-point range. Tyler Hero, back-to-back threes, gives Miami the 4-point lead. 111 to 107, under 2 to go. Maxey over to Grimes. Grimes into Embiid, foul line, pull-up jumper, too strong, can't get it to go. Rebound to Adebayo. And now here comes Jaime Jaquez bringing it down. Jaquez being guarded by Oubre, coming to his right. Keeping the ball, being guarded by Grimes on a switch, spins off of him, down the lane, almost lost it, picks it up. Embiid reaching and not contesting, and Jaquez spins into the lane for the easy scoop layup, and a timeout for Philly as now suddenly they are down by 6. Just as said, Hero 3 for 10 from 3. Yep. He 11 for 40 from 3. Not even a very good, especially the second half here is really what torpedoed their original 15-point lead. But Miami coming up with all the clutch plays, all the important baskets here tonight. You'll look at their lineup here, and you got 14 from Wiggins, 23 for Bam, 23 and 16 for Bam, with 6 assists as well. Hero chipping in 28 and 3. Pelle Larsson with a nice 18, 7 for 12 from 3, 7 for 12 from the field. He wishes from 3. 7 for 12 from 3, but also 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Some really nice defense here tonight for Pelle Larsson. Sometimes I categorize him as a 3-and-D player. He's more of a slasher. Pelle Larsson is. Not much of a three-point shooter. He's an okay three-point shooter, but more of a slasher, getting downhill and getting to the basket. Jaime Jaquez with 12, 6, and 5. I don't love all the threes he settled for here tonight. He's 3 for 6, I believe, from three-point range. Ian Parkin said, Celtics down a lot. Yes, indeed they are. Yes, indeed they are. A 6-point lead with a minute and a half to go here into this fourth quarter. 16-point lead. Not too much. 16-point lead. They're past the halfway point. Not looking likely for this comeback, as Atlanta has mostly controlled the second half here. Scoreboard said, come on, Heat, lock my Knicks into the playoffs. Is that, would the Knicks get locked in if the 76ers lose tonight? Yeah, they're sitting at the 7th seed, so. Makes sense. Yak said, I'm sick to my stomach for the kid. For who? For who, Yak? Maxey gets it over to Edgecombe. Edgecombe gets it over to Maxey. Maxey coming to his left, over to Edgecombe. Pump fakes, driving it down, shovels it over to Paul George. A left corner three for Paul George gets blocked. Is that Hero who came up with the block? Or is that Wiggins? That might have been Wiggins. Jaquez has it up top. Jaquez being ordered by Maxey. Timer's got to go. Jaquez down the lane, kicks out to Larsson, catches, pump fakes in the paint, tries to step through, spins, floater, over Paul George, and he banks it in. Over Paul George, and it's looking like Miami's going to be able to pull this one off. Threatened to lose a 15-point lead here to Philly. A 3 for Edgecombe. He got it to go, but they wave it off, and it's going to be another moving screen off of made 3 for Philly. First time Maxey made the 3, but Embiid had the moving screen, and they waved off the Maxey 3. Now, Edgecombe knocks down the 3, but they call the moving screen on Maxey, wave the 3 points off, and it's still an 8-point game, and Miami gets the ball back. Hero up top being guarded by Maxey. Maxey going for steals. Hero down the lane, throws up the floater. There's the 10-point lead, and likely there's the game. Embiid pushing it the other way. You're going to have to start heaving up threes here. To get it over to Edgecombe has handled the pass. Get it over to Embiid. Embiid pump fakes, driving it in the paint. They'll give him the layup. Don't want to foul. Don't, prefer a 2 over a 3 anyway. Jaquez gets it over to Embiid. Embiid fouls Adebayo. Adebayo did not like the manner in which Embiid fouled Adebayo. Adebayo's like, really? You're going to run full court and then shove me with 2 hands? That's the foul you're going to give? Embiid not happy with the, Adebayo not happy with the foul call. Or, understand the foul call, not happy with the foul. K. Hazy said, GG, Philly almost had it. Almost had it. Joe's dad said, prepare ourselves for the round 2 departure if we play like we did last night. Yeah, if they played like they played last night. Yak said, we have the tiebreaker, just need to catch them. Yep. The Knicks are 3 back in the loss column, although after tonight and the loss to Atlanta, likely loss to Atlanta, not done yet. It'll still be 2 back in the loss column, though, so. They need at least 1 more loss for the Celtics, and then they need to beat the Celtics when they meet up. So, still an uphill climb for the New York Knicks. Judge that today, I would say the Hawks are a good, getting a good matchup for round 1, but wouldn't mind the Sixers. I'd avoid the Sixers just because we know Joel Embiid can be very dangerous out there. Can hurt some people. G4 said, who's second game for you today? No second game today, G4. We were originally going to do Thunder Pistons for the doubleheader tonight. But then when you look at the injury report, the Pistons are sitting almost everybody. They're missing 5 key rotation players, as now Philly's going to play the foul game. We know Cade Cunningham is out, but no Jalen Duren, no Tobias Harris, no Duncan Robinson. Somebody else is out. No Isaiah Stewart. And with no Cade Cunningham, that's 5 of their 6 best players on the team out. So against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm good. Unfortunately. We will sneak in another game later this week, I should say. We'll sneak in another game later this week I think it's Thursday. We're going to try and do the doubleheader on Thursday. Foonpei, he said, thanks, Chevy. I hope Deuce can be back by the playoffs anytime sooner. It may be risky. Maybe. Just that said, OKC is sitting guts also? Who are they sitting? I know J-Dub is out. And Harnstein is out. Maxey has to put up the three. Doesn't get it to go. Loose ball is out of bounds, staying with Philly. Miami did knock down both of their free throws. Oh, my bad. Susan, appreciate you. But this one is all but over. Let's go around the league for the last time here tonight. And it's a 12-point game with 4 minutes to go. This game, oh, you guys can't see it. My bad. It's the final screen. We're not there yet. This game ain't over yet. As this one will officially end. There you go. Philly misses the shot, and it'll end up being a 10-point loss for the Philadelphia 76ers. So, it's only a 12-point game, y'all, with 4 minutes to go. This game's not over yet. Far from over. Keep an eye on this one. Sons Jen said, appreciate you, Sons Jen, appreciate you. TT in the morning said, I just want to see how the Pistons defense is working against OKC in this upcoming matchup. Yeah, I guess. It's tough to gauge when they're out so many guys, No Stewart, no Duran. How much are we going to gauge the Detroit defense against the Thunder when you don't have your two starting bigs or your two most important bigs? Oh, Nick Yak was talking about McBride. He's sorry for, yeah, it feels bad for the kid. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks for Deuce, man. It really does, because he was having a career year, man. He was having a career year. He was fantastic. Suns and Grizzlies still locked in a tight one. Spurs have fully blown it open against the Bulls, to be expected. Took a while, but they eventually got there. Timberwolves up 10 on the Mavs. Cavs in a tight one so far with the Jazz. They'll probably break that one open as the game goes on. And then, the 9:40, we should be getting to this Pistons Thunder tip-off any minute now. And then the late game is the Lakers taking on the Wizards. Get a nice, easy night for the Lakers. But with that being said, we're going to end it right there. Skomberg, appreciate you. Meekeny Print. Embiid upselling again the team. Big money to him. Tomorrow we know we have our Knicks matchup. The Knicks will take it on the Houston Rockets. And that'll be the only game we cover. If it were a little bit earlier, I would definitely try and cover the Blazers Clippers, but 11 p.m. start time is a little too late on the East Coast here for me, considering I have to wake up early in the morning. And then Wednesday, the Knicks on a back-to-back. They fly over to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. The very Grizzlies giving the Suns a run for their money here tonight. So that is not going to be an easy matchup on the second night of a back-to-back on the road. And then Thursday, we're going to look to do the doubleheader. We have Timberwolves Pistons as well as Lakers Thunder. So that should be a good game. And there's our Thunder matchup that we're going to be missing tonight. Before ultimately coming back with the Knicks on Friday. And then we'll talk about our schedule, by the time we get to that point. But of course, we're going to try to cover as many games as possible during the week. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys, man, so much. Thank you for hanging out with me here for another good NBA game here tonight. We got a good one. And I've inadvertently given the 76ers 0 points, but it was 109 to 119 is the final score. But as always, guys, thank you to all of the channel members, whether you were gifted a membership or you decided to become a member all on your own. I appreciate your support nonetheless, guys. And thank you for hanging out with me here tonight. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for showing up and chatting with me and supporting and watching a good basketball game with me. Appreciate you. Bruce said the Sonics will most definitely be my fave West Coast team. Can we get some late nights next year? We've done late nights. It just depends when the late night comes, right? On nights where I know I have to wake up early in the morning, it's tough to stay up and do the late nights. On days where maybe I am working, but I don't have to wake up as early, I can justify doing the late night. So we'll get to the late nights, especially come playoff time here. I'm going to try and cover as much basketball as possible. So we'll definitely be there. It's just got to be the right games, right? It's got to be the right games. I was fully prepared to do the late night game here tonight, but unfortunately, both the Pistons and the Thunder are sitting a bunch of guys out tonight. So it's not going to end up being as good of a matchup as it should have been. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. By the way, Boston, Atlanta, it's an 8-point game, a minute to go. It's looking like Atlanta's going to pull that one off. So, but I appreciate you guys as always. Yak said we match up so well with, for Philly. I have mixed feelings about the matchup. But, it's a conversation for another time. Remember, guys, brush your teeth before bed, stay hydrated, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody. Bye.